Matthew Scraby. The Roki Sasaki watch continues. Down to the final three. Padres, Dodgers, and Toronto. Maybe. We'll check in with Matt Snyder. He has some ideas about that one in particular. But, gentlemen, how are you?
I was really good yesterday when I saw the video, or the apparent video. I still have not gotten any confirmation on this thing.
Zero confirmation.
Yeah. The supposed video that somebody shot from their apartment complex overlooking Petco Park, that it was Roki Sasaki, and he was throwing down in the Petco Park bullpen, and he had Padre gear on, and
to Ethan Salas, by the way.
And I was thinking, all right, well, this
People
is
have made that, been able to put
now
that
it's
together
Ethan
too.
Salas?
Ethan Salas is catching the
really?
bullpen.
Was
I
Manny
can't
Machado
confirm that.
standing there as a
No, but if you
potential hitter?
look, there are a lot of the who's sitting around watching this little bullpen session.
I hope
that he's doing.
I hope it's a real video, because if it is, it makes me feel pretty good about
there's
the
been a
Padres'
development.
chances. But what is the development now? What do you got?
We were trying to find. I was
What,
trying to
you
find
got another tail? We got a tail
the
number or something?
authenticity of this video. So I went back to it this morning, and it was deleted. So I did a little searching, and apparently this is a real video. The person deleted the tweet because they stole it from, or maybe, I don't know about stealing it, but they posted it, and it's not their video, and so they felt bad. They deleted it.
Wait, hold up. You said apparently it's a real video. What in the evidence is telling you that it is authentic and real?
Because if you look at the field, everything looks the same.
So nothing, really.
Oh,
And
boy.
Roki Sasaki is wearing Padres colors.
Okay.
I am so glad that as soon as this video came out yesterday, I questioned it. I questioned it immediately.
Listen, I'm not saying,
and I'm kind of glad I did, honestly.
I'm not saying that it's not him, but there is zero evidence that is 100%.
We don't know anything.
Yeah.
I mean, we're basically going to have to sit here and just cross our fingers. And if we're mindful to pray, then a couple of prayers probably wouldn't hurt either at this point. So, but it's going to be a few days, and we're going to know. And Matt Snyder does have the latest on it, and we'll give it to you here in a little bit.
Throwing strikes?
Little update.
The video is authentic. However,
how do you know this?
we cannot confirm it's Roki Sasaki, but his throwing motion does look like Roki Sasaki.
What is
Are
your
you telling me
source?
that the Padres
what is
sent?
your source? And where
I
is this
can't
coming
reveal
from?
sources. Are you
Well,
kidding?
please
Did you just
reveal
get a
them.
text message?
I did. I just got a text message from someone in the know.
Scrape, you know someone in the know.
Of course I do. Are you kidding
I think
me?
what really happened is that Tony Petricca, the Padre equipment guy, dressed up as Roki Sasaki and went out there to throw some pitches
They
just
need
to
to
throw
sign
everybody
him
off
then.
the trail.
Hey, I love my
Tony Petricca,
Tony
yeah.
Petricca.
Yeah.
He's like a family member, but I promise you, his body is not moving like that.
I
Right?
don't think it is either. But,
Can you tell me if it's normal for a free agent to wear I'm genuinely asking, to wear team colors before they're actually on that team?
I'll just pose the question to you this way. Do you think Corbin Burns went into any of the facilities and threw a bullpen for any of the teams?
I don't know, honestly.
The answer is no.
Okay.
So this is not the same as free agency, clearly.
So maybe he's working out?
If Roki is working out or throwing a bullpen, that would be, I think most agents would not allow that. However, he's different. I mean, maybe he's different. I don't know. It'd be interesting.
That's a great point, though, Tony. I mean, why if he had already made up his decision, truly has made up his decision, is just waiting till Wednesday to announce it, why would he run out there and throw some pitches just for fun?
I mean,
it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Right. We'll see.
Hate to say.
Listen, like I said, maybe it's him. I don't know, and we'll find out. I'm sure, by the way, that the detail you gave us that the picture is authentic. I'm sure it's not a fake picture.
Yeah, it's not AI.
Right.
It's a video, by the way. It's not a picture.
I was video. I was
Yes,
pretty positive.
those are
of that.
moving pictures.
I was pretty positive of that, but to now whether it's Roki, I think that's a whole nother question.
Okay. Never mind. I'm gonna
Matter of
stop
fact,
right there.
it's not even know if like we had like a low video version where you could kind of maybe analyze height. It's from like the top balcony.
It's from way up there.
Way up there.
Yeah, they look like little ants down there. How do you know that's Roki Sasaki's throwing motion from where that video is from?
I never said the Ethan Salas.
You said that exactly
I'm
to
saying
Ethan
that
Salas.
People said that. I can't confirm.
Well, we know that people means one guy on Twitter. We've come to learn that over the years.
You know what's so funny is that these things end up being right, and then you guys give me zero credit for it.
But you don't deserve any credit. You're guessing
I'm the
like
one who believes in it.
So what?
I deserve credit.
You don't get any credit for believing.
Chris, will you fix your camera? It's really bothering me.
Oh,
It's
you
off.
know what? I
It's
saw.
off.
Well, I was on. I'm on screen. What's that? Oh, there we go. Sorry, guys.
No, it's still off.
No, it's the green light's on. I don't know. I'm looking.
You need to enable your camera.
No, you know what? Remember you took the connection out of this side and put it over there yesterday.
Okay,
Do you remember that?
Over there. I'm gonna come
No,
over
the
there.
connection's out. You took it out yesterday when I couldn't remember my password.
That's right.
Now I can remember my password. I'm on actually,
Steph says, "Are we a bit obsessed with Sasaki or what?" Yeah, I'm obsessed.
Clearly.
We should
He's
be
a cheat code.
Well, wait a minute. We should be obsessed. Okay. This is how important this whole thing is. One of these guys on one of the ESPN Plus, insider guys
that you pay money for.
That I pay money for. Well, I'm trying to read it, but Scraby's got my mouse now, so I can't go down and read it. He's rearranging my camera. Thank you. All right. But one of the ESPN guys talking about Sasaki and what makes him such a coveted free agent and et cetera, said straight up, he very well could be the best pitcher in baseball as soon as he steps out on the field. I don't know that he will be. Maybe that's a lot to put on anybody. But the point being, that's why we should be obsessed with this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to change the trajectory of the Padres, with one announcement. And it's going to change the direction and the trajectory of the Padres the other way if he decides not to come here. So it's absolutely that big of a deal. I mean, when I'm reading, I thought that the guy was good and he's going to be a good rotation piece for somebody in the middle somewhere. But when I start reading, no, he's at this age, he's already as good as anybody there is in Major League Baseball. Yeah, that sounds like a lot. That sounds like a lot.
Which writer?
Well, I'm trying to actually find it, and that's why I'm not saying the guy's name. Okay. I think it was Schoenfeld said it. Schoenfield. Okay. One of those guys.
One of the guy we can never have on.
Well, I'm just telling you that, it's, crazy that people are thinking he's this good. So he means all that.
That's why he's coveted.
Yeah.
That's why he's coveted. And he's cheap for a guy with, that much potential where he could just come in day one and be the best pitcher in the league.
Here's Schoenfeld. With his power fastball splitter combo, I compare him to two former Major League Baseball greats, Roger Clemens and Curt Schilling.
Yeah.
I'm just reading what I'm
writing. No, I know.
What he wrote.
When you said power fastball split combination.
Schoenfeld goes on to say, I did find it, Tony. He's entering his age 23 season, and it's not a stretch to say he has the potential to be the best starter in baseball.
There you go. That's what the obsession
that's why
is.
we're interested.
I think Padres fans just also want to win.
That's
this would be such a good win to have someone of his caliber.
You're talking about just win in terms of
win as in get something good to happen to this franchise because it's been kind of rough this offseason. If he comes to the team, not only is he inserted into the rotation immediately, but like you guys said, he makes no money compared to his talent level. And that is the cheat code part of it. Because he has to go through 6 years of a rookie contract just like everybody else.
Is it 6, though?
Or 5? I mean, he still has to go through arbitration.
No, I don't think so.
Because he's under 25. Because when you're over...
What was Kim when he came over?
Ooh, I don't know what his age is, but...
I'm not even going to lie that I know the exact rules of that, but... I do feel like
he's 29 now, so Kim probably came over when he was 25, which is a free agent contract but he was also in the KBO. The NPB, Nippon Professional Baseball, they have different rules. Like you have to be over 25 to come over and get a free agent contract. If you leave before, you have to go through the rookie contracts and the international signings and man, I feel like an expert on this stuff.
You sound like one.
You're not.
You sound like one.
Why would you say that, Chris?
You're not. Just straight. You're not.
Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about, everyone.
Matt Snyder will join us later on in the 2:00 hour. We'll talk a little bit about Roki. We'll talk a little bit about the free agency. He's getting ready for the Hall of Fame that's coming up here shortly. Or Hall of Fame vote, I should say, that's coming up here shortly. He'll talk a little bit about that.
We confirmed that he's not allowed to vote for you.
Yes.
We tried to get a vote for you, but he said you're off the ballot, unfortunately.
I need another trip to Cooperstown, Tony.
Yes,
Let's go.
it would be good. Come on, Tony, get in there.
I might have one in the works. I don't know if you guys will be able to have one in the works.
You mean Prince?
If Prince goes?
No.
Oh.
If
You think Prince is Hall of
CC
Famer,
gets
though?
in.
Oh, CC, yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, CC Sabathia.
He'll get in.
I very might will have to make a trip to. Not have to. That's not like a punishment or something.
Didn't you say the next time you're going to go
I
is for
think I
CC?
did say that. So we'll see.
Do you think Prince will be a Hall of Famer? Side
No,
note?
he'll be sure. He won't get enough votes.
All right.
He's he probably be on the ballot here now.
Soon.
Yeah, coming up. Nonetheless, full show for you. Play round 1 of the NFL playoffs finally came to an end.
Yeah,
and
Scraby's best friend
came
laid
to
an
a
egg last
crashing
night.
halt.
Hey, don't call. He wasn't the one throwing those passes
Hey.
He
behind
did not
every
have,
receiver.
he himself did not have a great game. Nobody did.
No.
On that sideline. Come on. You watch
I will
that game,
support my
Riggs.
best friend until I die.
I will say that I thought my man Darnold was in trouble when they panned to him at one point. His eyes were like popping out of
He
his
kept
head.
doing this.
It had the same look that he had when he said he was seeing ghosts on the Jet sideline when he was a former Jet. But it was weird. Like the very next drive was when they scored, and all of a sudden, like the pupils weren't as. It was the boys was lit when he was under pressure. Man, I haven't seen that many balls thrown behind
He looks so
wide
bad.
receivers.
But I also haven't seen an offensive line play that badly since
Swiss cheese.
Miami about a month ago in front of Tua.
Swiss cheese.
That was so bad.
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
was tough.
in defense of Darnold, we'll get
He
into
had
the
no
game
time.
more. Yeah, there isn't a lot of quarterbacks who would
you're
have
right.
played a great game last night under those circumstances, I must say.
I think the difference for Donald is once you get him into that mode, he can't pull
recover.
himself out of that point. Yeah. So Rams pretty much destroyed the Vikings. They made quick work of them.
Are they Team of Destiny right now?
We're gonna find out because they're facing a pretty tough one next week.
Eagles.
Yeah.
But they're playing really well, and they're getting better each week. And Matthew Stafford, I know people don't give him credit. He is a fantastic quarterback.
They should, and this was brought up at some point before that game. I can't remember who said it, but they talked about how often we talk about the Peyton Mannings and the Drew Breeses of the world of getting to the line, recognizing what they see, and then changing it to a play. Matt Stafford has become extremely good at that.
Yeah.
That's probably, actually at this point in his career, is probably his best attribute.
He's probably got so much knowledge.
100%.
He displayed it last night. The other thing he did was anytime they did get a rusher free, he got rid of the football.
He knew where to get.
Somebody please tell Sam Darnold that is an option.
He knew, and I think that's, to your point, why your best friend Scrape did not have a good game. It seemed like a lot of those routes were meant for intermediate, which meant line was going to have to protect. But at some points, you realize my line is not protected. We got to get the ball
change something up.
out of his hands. To be fair, though, I don't think Sam Darnold hit a short dump off to his running back at any point.
That's what Kevin said after the game.
Any point.
So you got to check down.
He threw balls. I mean, even when he did check down, my man, who was running back? Jones?
Aaron Jones, he hit him in the ankle a couple of times.
He had no shot to catch those balls.
I specifically remember Troy Aikman saying, "Oh, now the easy throws are getting hard,"
right.
Which is not a good thing.
It spiraled. It spiraled on Sam last night. So
It was pathetic.
that game ends round 1. We'll certainly have a GBU for you later on, but we got a Chris's Fantabulous show, Fantabulous Sports Game Show, full Gwynn and Chris for you today.
I have the first fake tweet about Roki Sasaki in front of me, so no one believe it. No one believe it.
Hang on to it. We'll get to it on the other side.
Okay.
More Gwynn and Chris when we return.
The biggest fan contest.
things. It even tells you, hey, there's a canyon over here. Don't hit it here.
Scraby from about 45 feet. His caddy tells him to play it a little to the right. He's been playing well so far today. Fourth hole. Nice smooth delivery. Hit it too hard.
Sasquatch.
So Chris says that he can't play golf, but this is the second birdie putt he's made for us. This time it was like 20 feet.
Thank you very much, Greg. But once again, you're hitting some very nice shots as well. I'm not usually complimentary to you, but can't help but be complimentary. Your shot making.
With my what?
Your shot making. You hit some.
These things. It even tells you, hey, there's a canyon over here. Don't hit it here.
Scraby from about 45 feet. His caddy tells him to play it a little to the right. He's been playing well so far today. Fourth hole. Nice smooth delivery. Hit it too hard.
Sasquatch.
So Chris says that he can't play golf, but this is the second birdie putt he's made for us. This time it was like 20 feet.
Thank you very much, Greg. But once again, you're hitting some very nice shots as well. I'm not usually complimentary to you, but can't help but be complimentary. Your shot making.
With my what?
Your shot making. You hit some.
These things. It even tells you, hey, there's a canyon over here. Don't hit it here.
Scraby from about 45 feet. His caddy tells him to play it a little to the right. He's been playing well so far today. Fourth hole. Nice smooth delivery. Hit it too hard.
Hours with you today. As Tony mentioned, we have a lot lined up. Matt Snyder, CBS Sports, going to give us the latest on Roki Sasaki, although before we get to Matt Snyder, Scraby has what he thinks is the latest. We'll let him pass that along to you here in a moment. A couple of other things we're going to look at as the show goes on today. We are finally going to get into our Mike Tomlin conversation as to whether or not he should come back as coach of the Steelers. That'll be later. Deion, could he be going to Dallas? I like Ben Higgins' tweet today. I like a lot of Ben's tweets.
You do.
This one said...
What'd he say?
He said maybe Deion will be the first two-sport coach. Coach Colorado on Saturday and then go coach the Cowboys on Sundays.
That's creative right
You never
there.
know with Deion.
I don't know. You guys have staunchly. I'll save it till 3:20.
Yeah, save it for that.
Smart man.
We'll get it later.
Smart man.
And, Mick Cronin, although he's UCLA, he's come under, I think, some warranted criticism for the comments he made about his players and team last week. If you didn't hear them, we'll get into that a little later. But Jay Billis addressed that today, and I thought he hit it right on the head. So that's coming up later. Chris's Fantabulous Sports Game Show. The Aztecs play tonight against Colorado State. It's one of those 8 o'clock games. And I will tell you, from my experience, it's not the Aztecs' fault in any way, shape, or form. Game's not going to start at 8 o'clock. Because there's 3 games before it, which means they always have to delay the tip-off for the previous game to finish. So, just bring a pillow if you're going to the Aztec game. You're going to be there late tonight. Don't bring a pillow. It's going to be fun. I think it'll be a great game. Colorado State's good. Aztecs trying to bounce back after their loss on Saturday. All right, Scraby, go ahead. Tell us the latest bit of wrong information you have on Roki Sasaki.
Who was it that said we were obsessed? It's really
Steph, I think.
Steph is really Scraby.
I'm very obsessed with Roki Sasaki. I have alerts in my phone for Roki Sasaki.
He is obsessed. We're just we're rightly interested. He was obsessed.
I like unicorns on teams, and that's what he is. He's a unicorn, and he could be a Padre.
We hope he is a unicorn.
I know. I am putting a lot of eggs in the basket.
That's what I'm saying, though. You got to protect yourself a little bit.
Here's what we got to be careful about. Because tomorrow is the day he can actually start.
Doesn't mean he will, everybody.
Correct.
But that means more and more false things are going to come out starting tomorrow.
So from
soon as midnight hits.
Yeah.
Vegas gambling Steam on Twitter.
Steam?
Yes.
There's your first clue.
Breaking news, MLB, Dodgers, and Roki Sasaki have a deal in principle. Meetings rested this week to finalize the contract.
Why are you even telling us this? This is totally false.
Because I'm telling everyone, if they read this and they're concerned, it's fake. It's not true. The first comment says, source.
I often think to myself, who does this? Like, you're sitting in front, the brilliant idea comes to your head.
Yeah.
I'm just going to throw it out there. I'm going to make it up. Roki Sasaki has signed. Sasaki has signed.
That's something you could trick people with. But Roki Suzuki has signed.
Trick them on that.
Yes,
but Roki Sasaki has signed with the Dodgers. Like, what is it that goes through your mind? It's like this is it right here.
I often think about this too. I think they're the pranksters, like the guys who used to put whoopee cushions and stuff. Like that's the new prankster.
That's what it is. Twitter prank
is trying to prank, but you got to have a better account. Like when we first started referencing that account in San Diego, Mike Hawk.
That's right.
And he had this picture that made him look like
what was his name again?
Mike.
Never mind. I got it.
Like that.
Yes, I got it.
We started. He made whoever ran that account made it look like a real reporter's account, and so we may or may not have seen some of those things.
We may have seen it, but certainly
just be on the
never came
lookout.
out of my mouth.
As I said yesterday, starting tomorrow, Tony, if that guy from Shark Tank flies to Toronto,
we know
expect a story to come popping out and some cameras to be available. Because everyone's going to be reporting every which way, and 90% of it's going to be incorrect, maybe even a higher percentage than that.
Yeah.
I mean, till you have an actual announcement,
people are going to make things up.
People are going to just make things up. And it may be, like you said, tomorrow's the first day.
Right.
But he's got a week, basically, to actually, make it known. So we could be in for 4 or 5 days of craziness. We really could.
Just make the decision,
I hope for Grady's
Roki.
sake that's not the case.
You've also had, 3 months to think about this.
Maybe. He's just now going on trips, apparently.
Came over the weekend to Petco.
The Dodgers supposedly get the last meeting. That's today, right?
Yes.
So, I mean...
Well, how could he get up to L.A. if he was in San Diego throwing on the mound last night?
I mean, there's something called a car. I know that you're used to horse and buggy, but...
That's right. If he was really here, he'd have no way of getting there by Pony Express to L.A.
He could take a couple different ways to get up to LA at this point. But
I know.
We are all sitting on our hands hoping for the best.
Yeah, and it is kind of, people that are saying it's just, it's not that big of a deal. I got to tell you, it is. It really, truly is.
It's shaping up that way.
It really, truly is. I mean, who else are the Padres going to get that's going to be able to have an impact like a guy that has, according to, people in the know, a chance to be the best pitcher in baseball? Doesn't mean he will, but, just that kind of scouting report has to be tantalizing to Padre fans.
Think
for
about
sure.
Tantalizing.
Cease. Sasaki. Or actually, let me start this over. King. Cease, Darvish, Sasaki. Your first four pitchers.
Yeah, Cease is still on the team.
That's true. But right now, that is the rotation if Sasaki chose the Padres.
I hope he does. It's obviously one of the more coveted pieces available, if not the most coveted piece available due to his age and ceiling of how good he could be. So certainly hoping for the best for the Pods. I think that would go a long way.
One quick note, and I think we have to report these things even though it's not what we wanted to have to report about it. We told you last week about the passing of former USD pitcher and Baltimore Oriole pitcher Brian Mattis, 4th overall pick many years ago in the draft, died at the age of 37, and there was nothing reported as to the cause of death. Well, a police report obtained by the Baltimore newspaper, the Baltimore Banner, says that he died of an apparent drug overdose. So
I was scared of that.
Yeah, it's sad to pass that news along, but we're in the business of doing that. Look, we bring it up it's sad to bring that up. The other side of bringing this up, and Scraby and I will certainly say, and Tony will agree, people out there struggle with stuff. Mm-hmm. And if you're in a situation where you're struggling with something, get help. And I'm not saying Brian Mattis didn't get help. I don't know, but you hate to see something get to that stage.
I go to AA every single week for the most part.
Right.
I see and hear stories, and you're taking your life into your hands when you do drugs. I mean, recreationally, you're taking your life into your hands. So think about that before you do it. Like, is this worth it? Because things like this, and is it Sean Burrow?
Yeah. Sean
Burrow was also died of an overdose.
Burrows. Yeah.
It's very sad. And these things happen all the time. You got to be very careful. And so that's why I think we bring it up, Chris, is to remind people.
That too.
For sure.
But I'm concerned about people that are in a state of mind where they feel like they have to get to that point.
Yeah.
And I hope that if you ever feel like you're headed there, reach out.
Well said.
Around you.
Yes.
All right. We'll take a quick break. Matt Snyder joins us next from CBS Sports. He has his latest on Roki Sasaki and some of the other free agents, including Jurickson Profar. Now, there's still plenty of hope about Jurickson out there coming back to San Diego. We'll get the latest from a guy who knows a ton about it next on Gwynn and Chris.
Gotta turn it off.
Indeed. 2:36 on the clock. Tony Gwynn Jr., Chris Ello, Matthew Scraby, Matt Snyder will join us here shortly. Obviously, the fires up in Los Angeles have taken a major toll on the individuals up there, and the San Diego Food Bank is supporting the Los Angeles Regional Food Bank's ongoing relief efforts by collecting donations of non-perishable food supplies through Thursday, January 16th, which will be delivered at the end of the week. Items can be dropped off at either of their warehouses in Miramar and Vista. The LA Regional Food Bank has requested the following items for donations: water, energy bar, Pop Top tuna and chicken, raisins and other dried fruit trail mix, peanut butter crackers, cheese crackers, 100% juice boxes, individual cereal boxes, diapers, and wipes. For complete details, visit SanDiegoFoodBank.org/LA wildfires. Continue to keep the people of Los Angeles in your prayers. Matt Snyder joined us. Will join us here shortly to talk a little bit of baseball as it pertains to Sasaki, to Jerickson Profar.
Matt Snyder said that we in San Diego are actually in his prayers as far as hoping we get Sasaki. I think he'd like to see us get him.
I was like, what?
I know. Where was I going?
That was
I know.
hilarious.
He definitely doesn't want seemingly
No,
to have LA.
I don't think anybody wants the Dodgers to get him other than the Dodgers.
Yeah,
Right?
I would definitely agree with that. So, without further ado, let's get Matt Snyder and talk some baseball.
And we're talking some baseball. Sports. Matt, how are you? This is January. Are you ramping up yet, or is it still a little early?
I've been doing a lot of stuff on the Hall of Fame and having a lot of fun doing it, so I'm good. I was exchanging texts with Will Middlebrooks yesterday, one of my colleagues at CBS, and he said, "How are you excited yet?" or whatever. I was like, I don't really get the itch until after the Super Bowl. I think I'm good enjoying the off season, and then once the Super Bowl is done, then I'm like, all right, yeah, let's get to some baseball. So I'm still good for a little bit.
Well, as far as we're concerned here in San Diego, as you may have imagined, we're kind of getting the itch to hear from Roki Sasaki, and hopefully we're a few days away from hearing that. Let's ask, what are you hearing, if anything? And, what are our chances, do you think? It's obviously down to 3 teams. Are the Padres legit here?
Yes, 100%. I don't think the Blue Jays are. It seemed a little weird to see that in there, but hey, if there's 3 finalists, then surely he's at least strongly considering the Blue Jays. It feels like he's just going to end up with the Dodgers, and that's kind of annoying, frankly, a little boring. I'm holding out hope that he'll go to the Padres. I feel like there's an avenue there, which you can't step into a guy's head. And obviously, joining the World Series champions and it's been said that Shohei Ohtani was his idol growing up. So getting to play with your idol, that's a big, big deal. But, you'd like to also think that there's a potential selling point on you're just going to be another face in the crowd with the Dodgers. You're going to be an also-ran. You're not going to be that big of a deal. You go to San Diego, you're going to be a frontline starter from day one. Unfortunately, it looks like they might even trade Dylan Cease at some point. So you could argue that either he or Michael King would be the ace pretty early in the season. And this is a team that has already made strides into the playoffs, a deep playoff run in 2022, only 1 game from eliminating the champion last year. So you could be somebody who helps put this team over the top. That sounds like a very good selling point.
Yeah.
Again, you can't put yourself in somebody else's head, and I agree that the Dodgers seem like a huge selling point as well. And if I were in his shoes, I don't know for sure which one I would take. Again, you'd like to be able to say, oh, man, I would totally want to be the frontline starter and want to play on the team that hasn't won the World Series. But, it's probably also awfully enticing to think, hey, look, Yamamoto and Ohtani just joined the Dodgers last year and they won the World Series. Maybe the same thing will happen for me. So that also has to seem like a big selling point.
Matt Snyder, CBS Sport, joins us here on Gwynn and Chris. And, Matt, I want to get to your thoughts as we get towards the end. I also want your thoughts on this free agent. We're talking about Sasaki, a different kind of free agent. Does this years of free agency, I know we still got a little bit of time. Does it feel a little light? Because it does seem like, yes, some of the names on the board, but in a slow process as some of these names.
Slow. Last year, I wrote something about how I wouldn't mind seeing something that moves after the winter meetings and not allowing signings again until spring training. Maybe that would kind of more activity. Then again, maybe it would a lot more guys free agency for spring training. Who knows? I do know that it gets to be pretty tedious. I mean, we're still waiting around for Alex Bregman and Pete Alonso and Jack Flaherty. Like, come on already. Let's go. I remember, not that long ago, Albert Pujols signed during the winter, and it was 2011 heading into 2012. And it felt like the only big free agent left was Prince Fielder, and he signed, I think in the middle of January with the Tigers. And that's that. Like, everybody else was pretty much done other than Prince. And now we get so many guys dragging on and on and on. And, I am envious of, I think about like in the NFL and NBA where it's like just an absolute flurry and then it's over 3 days. I wouldn't mind that at all. But growing tired with how long it's taking. I'll say that.
Matt, the Padres situation here, obviously this lawsuit has come up. In your experience covering baseball and other teams that have gone through maybe similar type situations, can or does something like this put the Padres in a situation where it may be more difficult for them to go out and get the people they desire to get?
It's possible. I think that the biggest thing is, and it's already started happening, is the tamping down on the available payroll, which, again, it already started to happen, unfortunately, after Mr. Seidler passed away. I think that if there were a situation, this one set aside, but if there were a situation where ownership still, no matter who was fighting with what, but ownership still said basically spend whatever you want, I don't really think it would affect the front office that much because the front office is just dealing with baseball operations. They would know that the money was there. It seems like it might be a little bit of disarray ahead of them. But again, if there was a situation where the ownership was like, hey, we have this fight right now, but you can still do whatever you want, I don't think that would affect things. But the problem is when as much money has been spent in future years, as is the case with the Padres, and then you have a fight over money, it looks like, and needing to tamp down on the salary to the point that I just mentioned earlier that Dylan Cease might be traded. Yes, that section's dealing with it.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it that you've seen situations like this in the past certainly affect payroll. We'll have to wait and see how this one goes. Thinking about a guy like Jerickson Profar, Matt, he had a career year this season, a legit one at that. Goes into free agency, and we're looking at the time. We just finished talking about the slowness of this process. He's still out there. I tend to believe this maybe makes the Padres' chances better to bring him back. What do you see for a guy like Jerickson Profar? It doesn't seem at this point that the market has been maybe what he wants it to be. Yeah,
I mean, he probably needs a few more guys to sign and kind of get out of the way so there's a little bit more certainty on where some guys are, especially somebody like Santander, who might be a corner outfielder type, might be out there looking for a similar type job. They're both switch hitters, something like that. Maybe Santander goes and then it opens up the market for Profar. But I do have to say, I think you're on to something that the longer it goes on, it looks like maybe you get into a situation where the player thinks, okay, I've just got to take a one-year deal and kick the can down the street. And if you're going to do that, then wouldn't a spot where you're already very comfortable be the team to do that with? So, yeah, I think that the longer this drags out, the more it looks like the Padres might be able to bring him back. And I got to say, I felt I hadn't even thought about him for a little bit. And then it was earlier today, I was looking at the free agency list, and I saw Profar on there. I was like, man, we haven't heard anything about him all offseason. And I felt awful because it's like he was the top prospect in baseball in 2012 when he came up with the Rangers, and he didn't really stick for a while. And then he finally found his niche as a utility guy. But last year he actually broke out as an all-star and for a while a legitimate top 5 or top 10 MVP candidate. He ended up 14th. And it's like now he's finally going to get his flowers, get a big payday, get his due. And instead there's just been nothing about him, and that sucks.
Yeah.
Well, the good news for Jerkson is we will provide a nice, soft, comfortable, happy landing place for him if he wants to come back. Matt, you mentioned the Hall of Fame and your involvement and breaking all of that down. So give us a quick rundown. How is Tony Gwynn Jr.'s chances? Or is his ballot time run out?
Well, I think you're off by now.
You're off.
He's been retired by more than 5 years. It's been a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Who are we talking about right now?
I think, well, obviously Ichiro is going to get in, and the only question with him is how close he gets to 100%. It's fun that I initially thought CC Sabathia, maybe he'll make it on the first try, maybe he won't. He's going to be borderline for a lot of people. I'm pleased in seeing the returns. It looks like he's going to fly in really easily, which makes me happy because he was one of my favorite players to watch for such a long time and a great guy and a great ambassador for baseball. I think it's great that he's going to get in on first ballot. And it looks like Billy Wagner is going to be really, really close again, but I think he will get in this time on his 10th and final try. I think that's going to be our three-man class this year from the BBWA side.
Well, Matt, you're in our class. We appreciate you joining us as always.
Sir.
Enjoy the rest of the off season, sir, and we look forward to catching up with you spring training or so. Thanks again.
All right.
Thanks, Matt.
Take care, guys.
There he is, Matt Snyder. That's everything we know. It's everything he knows. So do we feel better after that or worse after that?
Same.
I'm going to tell no, I feel worse.
You feel worse?
I do because he said that he's thinking it's the Dodgers and it's a just fait accompli. But then he went and made
Roki's thinking Dodgers.
I know he made a case for the Padres, a good case. I'm assuming the Padres are making the same case, which is come here and be a star, or go to LA and just be one of the guys. The problem with that thinking is that when I look at college recruiting and football mostly, guys seem like they'd rather be the fifth string running back at Alabama than the first string running back at Ole Miss.
They used to before NIL popped in.
Oh, that's right.
Now
yeah.
they don't want to be.
Now they just go where the most money is. Yeah, but I don't know. There's something that draws people to that that situation, and I hope that Roki Sasaki is drawn to this situation.
Yeah, man. I think it's. I know it's easy to fall into. Man, the Dodgers get everything they want because it feels like that because the Padres haven't been able to do much, and the Dodgers have been able to re-sign and add to their roster. So it certainly feels like right now that they get everything they want. But we've seen him turn down the Giants, the Yankees. Who was the other ones he did? Was it
Cubs,
Mets,
Yeah,
Rangers.
bunch of teams.
So a lot of
fallen
big
by the
market
wayside.
teams have fallen by the wayside, but there's
That's true.
one remaining, and that is the Dodgers. And so until they're off the, one big market team.
Well, Toronto's a huge market, right?
It is, but as you heard from Matt, he doesn't think that one's real. He doesn't think that that's
I don't either.
a possibility. So if we're listening to Matt on the Dodgers being the lead dog, we can listen to him on him thinking the Blue Jays don't have much of a chance.
But honestly, I don't care if we come in second or 12th.
You want to come in first.
I just want to come in first,
Yeah,
right?
I think everybody does.
Yeah, so it's not going to do us any good. Tony, we didn't get your thoughts yesterday. Donovan Solano signing a free agent contract with the Mariners.
Yeah.
Mariners for $3.5 million.
$3.5 million. Should the Padres have spent that? You think on Donovan, or I don't know that they should have.
Should they have? I don't know if the word
we don't know
should.
that the option was there, right? We don't know.
We don't. Listen. When you what was the young man they signed from the former Brewer that we just brought in?
Brousseau. Yeah.
Similar.
Hopefully, Brousseau is a
similar
younger
roles,
version,
right? I think that's what you're hoping. And are you paying a guy? Do you have Solano if he's making 3.5 last year? Probably not. You probably pass. So you're kind of trying to find the same type magic. Doesn't mean he'll play the exact same role, but same idea. Cheaper, get some production out of him in that kind of role. And I mean, you hope for the best.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing about Mike Brusso. He's had some moments, but he's going to have to hit like 400 against left-handed pitching if he's going to adequately replace Solano.
No kidding.
And that's hard to do, honestly, for
He's
anybody.
also going to have to wear glasses and be a substitute teacher and all this other
Wait,
stuff.
what? Oh, like
Donovan
I got you.
nicknamed the substitute.
It almost went over my
Hardy,
head.
har. There. I missed that.
I was quite upset yesterday that they didn't sign Donovan Solano, and I thought about it, and I reacted emotionally. I think the price tag.
You don't say.
Yeah, the
price.
You don't say.
You responded emotionally. What?
I think the price tag of $3.5 million spoke to my brain and said, if you can't spend $3.5 million on Donovan Solano, then what are you going to spend $3.5 million on?
I feel like I've heard that same statement from you multiple times this offseason.
I am still patient, and this is the longest I have ever been patient. But once Roki Sasaki makes his decision, they're going to have to start doing something.
So if he makes the decision for the Padres, do you still feel that way?
If he makes a decision with, yes,
You see,
I
if
do.
he picks the Padres, if he picks the Padres, is all forgiven, or do you go right on to the next thing and say, okay, now what are we going to do about left field and catcher and everything else?
That's like
I move on to the next thing because those are huge parts of the team that they need to figure out. Jerks and Profar could be coming back. I have a feeling that's what's going to happen in left field.
I would love that. I think, as I said, as we talked about with Matt, it certainly seems like, it feels like, I shouldn't say seems. Seems like there's more to it, more meat and potatoes there. It just, the longer this thing drags out, you would think after having a career year that, he wouldn't be on it. But as he said, there are still some big pieces on that board, which is a whole nother subject. There's a lot of big pieces on the board. Why? What are we waiting on? Why is Santander still out there?
Why Pete Alonso?
Why is Pete Alonso still out
Alex
there?
Bregman. There's some big names.
There's some big names. And all those probably have to come off the board before Profar starts.
Jack Flaherty?
Another one.
No, I thought Jack Flaherty went somewhere. Maybe not.
I missed
Not that I know of.
Okay, then I'm wrong.
Okay, we'll just go.
I
with
just
your-
wanna
Wouldn't be the
admit that I'm
first
wrong.
time.
just get it out the way.
I'm looking. No, yeah, he's not. I'm seeing an article that Santander and Jack Flaherty are open to short-term offers. So that was my first thought. Do they want a contract that's too long and the team doesn't want to commit? But if they're open to short-term offers, maybe they're just asking for too much money.
They're open to short-term offers now.
How about with Scraby?
After striking out on the long offers.
We're January almost 15th here, and they haven't signed yet. So this is where it starts to be a gut check for you at free agents. How are you willing to wait it out? Or do you gonna start taking a little short term?
It's a game of chicken at this point.
It starts to become that way.
Yeah.
Because listen, these are human beings, and no matter how good they are, when you don't have a job, it
be a little
gets
unnerving.
It gets a little unnerving.
Let me ask you this, Tony, as we go to break. Scraby said yesterday maybe Robert Suarez is a trade piece because they could get a few things for him. I said not ideal, but I'd live with Jason Adam as my closer if that's the way the Padres chose to go. Where are you at?
I'll give you my thoughts on the other side.
Wow.
3 o'clock
Oh,
hour.
very
Look at
good.
the tease artist right
He's
there.
learning.
He is. Nice job.
Chris on the other side.
I couldn't even leave my seat during the break. Got to find out what Tony Gwynn Jr. thinks about Padres maybe trading Robert Suarez and leaving basically Jason Adam as their closer. I know Tanner Scott's still a free agent, but we've discussed the likelihood of him returning. We've waited this long. We can wait another second, Tony. Just a quick update on things. If you're just tuned in, Roki Sasaki is still not made a decision, and he can't make one until at least tomorrow. But the Padres, it says they're in the final 3. Matt Snyder seemed to indicate they're kind of in the final 2 because he didn't think too much of Toronto's chances. So we can tell you that much. Obviously, the football last night was one-sided. Matt Scraby's been left to try to defend Kevin O'Connell after his team laid quite the egg, 27-9 Rams. We will wrap up all the NFL stuff a little bit later in the program. We also have got a Fantabulous Sports Game Show coming for you at the bottom of this hour, so stick around for that. But Daily Gambit next after Tony.
I'm okay with them moving Suarez
if they need to.
Here's the thing: what you're starting to, I think, see, maybe not see, but the picture is kind of becoming clear, right? If all is what we think it is in terms of the Padres not really having the space to spin freely. In some cases, at least in the cases that have been presented so far in terms of thought, you are plugging a hole only to open up another one. It's like the cartoon where you put the gum on the hole and then another hole pops up. That's kind of what's happening in terms of when people or these rumors or whatever's out there, whether it's Cease or now we're talking, in this case, Suarez.
There's been a lot made of perhaps Arise being traded as well.
You are taking a piece of the team to move in order to plug another hole that
leaves the piece you just traded open.
Exactly.
Right.
And so, again, because we don't know the direction in a lot of ways that the Padres are looking to go for the 2025 season, it's really hard to predict. But yeah, I could see a scenario in which Jason Adam can fall into that closer role. Maybe there's some arms. I mean, listen, what was the young man that came up last year? Tall guy.
Oh, at the end of the year, why can't I think of his name right now?
I mean,
Sean. I'm gonna go look.
It's Sean Reynolds, right?
Sean Reynolds.
If maybe there are enough.
Maybe they feel like they have somebody else. Yeah,
and so that you can start maybe sliding down the slots of Adams, who now would move from the setup position to the closer spot. You can, there's some maneuvering that may have to take place within the organization, and that's the other thing. You don't know what arms are going to take that next step, if there are some in spring training. And so there's a lot of questions. I don't think you can have an honest conversation about the San Diego Padres without acknowledging that there's some questions right
One
now.
thing we said, I would say a month and a half ago, is that be careful what you do in reacting to this move, that move, and the other one.
Right.
Wait till the whole puzzle is put together.
Right.
We said that, but we're not reacting to that.
No.
Yeah, we're not doing it. We're trying to react to each thing as it comes, and we really shouldn't, but we can't help ourselves.
But that's because in a vacuum, it'd be easy to do. But we also know that Giants have made moves. The Dodgers have made moves.
Right.
The Diamondbacks
seems like we've fallen behind, even though
and so in a vacuum,
there's a long way to go.
We can keep our eyes focused on the big picture, but when all these other things are happening on the side, it tends to drag your attention there, and then you start kind of worrying about how this picture comes together.
The Padres are kind of being like the Rockies right now, and I don't like it.
Oh, please.
I don't like it. I mean, I didn't even know that the Rockies still played in Major League Baseball because they have done nothing in free agency at all.
Not since like
Chris Bryant?
2003. I don't think the Rockies have.
Chris Bryant, the last big signing.
And you know what's hilarious is I think they're still trying to sell that to their fan base. Well, we got Chris Bryant.
Well, what else were they going to sell? Of course they got to.
That's it. All right, let's do some daily Gambit catch up there, Scrape.
Do you like money?
I think about money a lot.
Do you like money without doing anything?
Winning.
Do you want to make money while watching sports?
I think Washington is immortal luck.
Washington! Woohoo!
If you answered yes, this is your segment. Just don't blame us when you lose.
Nothing is ever your fault.
It's your game. Take it.
Gwynn and Chris go through the top bets of the day in The Daily Gambit on 97.3 The Fan.
Daily Gambit is our daily sports betting segment here on Gwynn and Chris. Please, everybody, gamble responsibly. Let's see. We made some bets last night, and Tony, I hit a 5-leg parlay over the weekend.
Did
that
you
I have
really?
to tell you about.
Oh,
I already told him he made $300,
330.
but the next 18 times he loses, he will have given that money back.
Oh,
So
don't worry. Whoever you gave your money or got your money from, they know they're getting it back. So
Oh, they will, but it's going to take a little bit longer with me.
that's
I
okay.
only bet
they
in
have time.
5, 10, or 15.
They got time to do
they're
it.
not going anywhere.
Yeah,
They'll
no,
be
I
happy
know.
to wait for you
They'll
to
wait.
give your money
They'll
back.
wait for you to give your money back. It might take a little time, but they are confident they will
Yeah.
get it back.
Yesterday I was feeling it a little bit. Before I left here, I went on and I made a 5-leg parlay. I'm like, I'm a genius. I know this stuff. I could do this.
there's
So you're saying they already got some of their money
I
back?
got 1 leg of the parlay. So
So
but I
there
only
you go.
bet $5.
They're already working their way back to even.
I only bet $5.
I should say they're probably still up at this point.
All right. Just realized something. Our bets yesterday. Let's start with the Lakers first, and then we'll go backwards.
Do we
Because I
have
need to
to?
check on something.
Now, we both even took the Lakers, Tony.
Yeah, we
I'm
did.
stuck up for you.
I'm sorry.
Lakers
I'm
minus
sorry.
4, Spurs 126-102.
Did you
Now,
see what they got outscored? in
It
the
was
second?
tied going to the fourth quarter.
36-17?
Yeah, they got outscored by 24 points.
Put the whole second half together. It's worse than that.
Man.
I mean, this team was up, I think, 11 at half. Might have been.
And they lost by 24?
Dude,
Wow.
it looked like
Yeah, it was bad.
the Spurs did the same thing from like mid-third quarter all the way to the end of the game. Never stopped. Lakers never had an answer. Now, I will say, I looked for some signs of life because there was none. It was hard to find any yesterday.
I mean, they're dealing with a lot.
They are. Touche. But
I think
still.
you should send Mick Cronin to the podium to talk about the Lakers, too.
Well, I will say this.
They're good kids, though.
I did see this.
They're good kids.
But they're delusional.
Delusional.
Listen, I know Jay is going to disagree with. We're going to hear it later, but he's not wrong. They are delusional.
No, he's
You
right.
shouldn't tell them that, though.
Oh, we just going to keep. But isn't that kind of the problem? Like we just keep sugarcoating it
actually,
for him.
he shouldn't have gone public with it.
Maybe so. I give you that. And maybe he should have left his assistant coaches out of it too. But I forgot my train of thought. Now where was I?
Lakers
talking about? Dude,
madness.
I did see at one point J.J. Redick and Anthony Davis get into it. Anthony Davis kind of
Really?
it looked like he was saying, "Why are you yelling at me?" And J.J. Redick was pointing to something down on the other end of the court defensively that didn't go the way they were supposed to go. And so, when things are bad like they are for the Lakers, I want to see the head coach butt heads with at least the big dogs of the team.
Yeah,
They went
you'll
bad
do
last
that.
night.
It
They
went real
bad.
bad last night.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
Okay, so next one, Ant-Man over under 26.5 points against the Wizards. Chris went over, I went under. Ant-Man had 41 points, so he is on a scoring streak right now.
Winner for me.
Yeah, man.
UCLA.
Pockets is getting light.
Speaking of, yes, they are. Speaking of delusional teams, is UCLA delusional when they played Rutgers, or were they delusional? Yes, they were delusional. UCLA were favorites in the game by 2.5 points. Chris chose UCLA. I chose Rutgers. Rutgers wins 75-68.
Now, listen, the truth of the matter, if I'm not mistaken, since the soft comments, I think they've lost both games.
Yes, they have. By wide margins to not great teams either.
So,
Yeah,
although
it hasn't worked
the
yet.
truth shall set you free, it may not have been the best time for the truth at this particular, at the way he gave it, I should say.
No doubt.
He pushed the wrong button. Kings at Oilers last night, minus 1.5 on the puck line. Chris chose the Kings. I chose the Oilers. Oilers won 1-0. Now back to our NFL bets. We did Puka Nacua or Justin Jefferson. How many receiving yards? Who had more receiving yards? Puka was -1. We both chose Puka. Neither of them had a big game. Puka had 44 yards, so minus 143. Justin Jefferson had 58 yards. I think he had that in the first half. He didn't touch the ball again in the game. So Justin Jefferson wins that one. Sam Darnold, minus 20 passing yards.
This is unbelievable.
Matthew Stafford. This is unbelievable.
Right?
For how bad Sam Darnold was last night.
He easily won this bet, though.
He had 245 yards, minus 20, 225. Matthew Stafford had 209.
Yeah, so Sam Darnold
we
won.
both chose Stafford.
Yeah. It was not a good night for us. I went 2-4. You went 1-5. Yeah. Before we get to today's picks, our first weekend of NFL playoff picks went this way. Tony 4-2 with 16 points. Scraby 4-2 with 15 points. Chris, 2-4, 8 points.
Where are my 2 losses?
You lost on, I'd have to,
Oh, I have it right here.
Who did he lose on?
Did I pick the Chargers like a Jackie?
Yes, we all picked
Like
the
a
Chargers.
Jackie,
We
says.
all 3 picked
Chargers
the
and
Chargers,
Bucks.
and they let us
Bucks,
down.
yeah, the Bucks one definitely let me
Bucks
down.
lost.
Yeah, I chose the Chargers as 6-point
Yeah.
team, and
You
that's,
did.
That's right.
brutal.
So we'll do those playoff
We all
picks
chose
again.
the Chargers?
Yes, we're all
Yeah,
wrong.
we fell for the we drank
we
the
drank
banana
the
in the
Kool-Aid.
tailpipe or whatever. Yeah.
We drink the banana.
Yeah, we did. That's how bad it was. All right, tonight we've got the Aztecs home, as we know, to Colorado State. One thing that Mark Ziegler wrote in his article today, so I'll throw it out there. The Aztecs have won 66 straight games against quad 3 or 4 opponents. 66!
It's a good streak.
And Colorado State is
Where's the wood at?
officially a quad 3. Even though they're 4-1 ahead of the Aztecs in the standings, Colorado State is a quad 3. Will the Aztecs extend their streak?
I don't like these kind of stats.
I know. Aztecs favored by 7. Scraby, you go first because you're really the only one that may choose the other side.
Well, I mean, the Aztecs are coming off of a pretty
Loss,
bad game.
but they, what they do after they lose, they're
Oh,
34-4.
Yeah, they basically
That place
always win.
is it's not the business.
What
the
place?
pit.
No,
Oh,
they
just don't play well there.
They didn't play well.
Chris kind of explained it yesterday about how it's intimidating before.
Well,
it is.
intimidating if you've never been
definitely
there.
is. It definitely is.
You gotta go to this
You're like
place.
going down into to hell when you get in there. It just drums up all kinds
It has
of bad
its effect
thoughts.
on you.
Yeah.
I am gonna go Aztecs. I think they get back on track.
All right. Yeah, 66 in a row and 34 of their last 38 following a loss. Aztecs. I have faith. Tony?
Aztecs.
All right. Number 1 team, the new number 1 team in the nation is the Auburn Tigers. Chad Baker Mazzara, former Aztec, is there. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Chad Baker Mazzara is one of those Auburn Tigers. They put their number 1 ranking on the line today against 15th ranked Mississippi State. So top 15 matchup tonight at Auburn, favored by 8. Tony. Auburn minus 8.
Oh, I was about to say at Auburn.
At Auburn, Mississippi State, the opponent.
Give me Auburn.
Going to take them to hold on to that ranking. I'm going to take Mississippi State to give us a good game on the road. Scraby.
I'll take Mississippi State.
You will.
Too.
Mississippi.
MISSISSIPPI.
The Dogs. Bill Dogs. Onto the
John Pabelbach.
Onto the NBA we go. The other night, Indiana won at Cleveland. Tonight, they play again, this time in Indiana. Does Cleveland make amends for what was a 15-point loss at home to the Pacers? Tonight at Indiana, Cleveland's favored by 8.5. I think the thinking is that Cleveland's going to whoop them, but I'm going to take Indiana plus the points. They're at home, and they just beat them. Scraby? 8.5 points. Cleveland favored.
I'm going Cavs.
Cavs. Okay. Tony?
No Halliburton, I believe, for this.
Oh, wait a second. That's
for this
really?
Yeah, I think he's out
I hate when they
hamstring.
do that.
So I will go Cleveland.
It's so tough to bet in the NBA. You really have to have knowledge before you
really do.
put your money down. All right. SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, is at Philly tonight. Giannis is home to Sacramento. They both have the same point total, so who's going to score more? And it is Scraby. SGA or Giannis?
I'm thinking.
All right, think. And do you want me to give you their scoring stats
no,
for the year?
No, it's okay. I know. Sixers are pretty bad right now, aren't they?
Well, it depends if here's the crazy thing. Both guys are averaging 31.4 points per game. Exactly the same.
Jeez. Okay, I'm going to go with SGA.
SGA tonight. I like him. He just always puts a 30 up there at least. Gives you a chance. Tony?
Greek freak.
Greek freak, he says. Okay, Jokic, 52.5 at Dallas tonight. Nikola Jokic, points plus rebounds plus assists. 52.5.
Wow. So he scores 30, gets 10 and 10. He doesn't even make it.
No,
That's true. That's true.
He's short.
Last time
put that into your calculations.
True,
Tony's
true,
up first,
true.
though. Yeah, no kidding.
Oh, I'm up first.
Could you imagine going 30, 10, and 10 and not making it?
I'm going to say, yeah, he gets it.
You say he's going to
Him
make
and
it.
Russell are on a nice little streak
Over,
right now.
says Tony. Jokic is averaging 31.2, a 13-2. He averages 9.8 assists.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I did
It really
read.
is.
Tony, back me up or disagree with this. Somebody put a video of Jokic up playing the worst defense anyone's ever played and said, how does this guy win MVP? He doesn't guard anyone.
He's not a defender.
Doesn't even bother sometimes. Interesting.
You know, I'm careful to with those clips because they
can make it look any way they want.
Right, but he doesn't. He's not known for his defense for sure.
I'm going to say under. I just think it's too many.
I say under,
Scraby,
too.
under. Okay, we've got one from the Australian Open tennis, which is
All right, we
underway.
gotta get moving, though.
We're moving. Carlos Alcaraz, one of the greats. I think he's seated third. It's a second-round match against Yoshihito Nishioka.
Okay.
Alvarez is favored by 9.5 games, which means if he wins 6-3, 6-3, 6-3,
That's 9.
that'd be 9. He wouldn't make it.
Word up.
All right. I think you're first, Tony. You want to go Alcaraz or Nishioka plus the...
Alcaraz.
You're not even thinking about it.
No.
Okay.
Don't know much to think about.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Nishioka.
Just for fun?
Nishioka.
Yeah.
All right. A little love for Nishioka. I'll take Alcaraz. Mop this guy up. All right. That's good. You're good, Scrape. We made it in plenty of time there.
I don't know about plenty of time.
All right. We made it. All right. There's our picks. We'll
He
see
goes,
how
all
we
right,
do.
we made it.
When we come back, Deion Sanders is in the news because he's met with Jerry Jones. Everybody seems to have an opinion on this. Is he going to be the next coach of the Cowboys? We'll give you our thoughts when we return after a check of traffic.
From the
that too. 324. Tony Gwynn Jr., Chris January, Matt Scraby. Trying to get ourselves back on track. Last segment went a little long. We'll try to trim the fat on this 3 o'clock, 3:20 segment. Chris teased it before we went to the break. Deion Sanders once again in the news. And this time he is being courted by Jerry Jones. Now, there's been speculation about this probably going back for about 8 weeks.
And Deion has said that he's not leaving Colorado no matter what, and no one's ever believed him, and this is why.
Oh, wait.
What?
You guys both said you don't believe he'll ever coach in the NFL because he said that.
Okay, we that's right. That was our prediction. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, in general, nobody's believed him. Yeah, that's all.
Like you and everybody else.
Who runs away with every potential rumor.
Since day one.
Well, that's fine. You're still not right.
He also
by the way.
went on
you're still not right. That's
yet.
right. You're not right yet.
Let's not start clucking yet like you got this whole thing locked down.
Wait a second.
Cluck, cluck.
Can you give him a chance to cluck?
Go ahead. You're feeling yourself right now. Because all of a sudden he actually took a phone call. Now hold on, let me get to this. Hold on, before you get to it. So for those who may not know, yesterday after Mike McCarthy walked away from Jerry Jones, and rightfully so, I might add, I thought it was some sweetness to the fact that they could come up to an agreement after he did all of that, shucking and jiving about whether he was going to bring him back or not. Mike McCarthy said, "I'm out." All right, so now all of a sudden the names start to filter in. Bill Belichick's name gets thrown out there. Deion Sanders' name is thrown out there. And I think everybody is feeling pretty good, those who didn't believe that he would stay, because he took a phone call.
The people like Scraby are thinking they're going to be right. The bottom line, too, is he also said he's not going to coach in the NFL unless he can coach his kids. So how is Dallas going to get his kids?
That is a great
That's another part of it.
The only person who wants to draft Shador is Deion. So he could take him in the second round.
Not true.
Wait, hold on. No. Just
Not
keep this.
true.
Today is the 14th.
Okay, that was a crazy comment.
No, keep
that. Was
that.
a crazy
We're gonna clip that. So 3:26 on January 14th. That was Scraby. He said that only one who wants to draft Shador is Deion. We're gonna hold you to
And
that.
he can wait to the second round.
At least. Wait. He said it sounded like nobody's gonna draft.
That's the part, Chris, that gets me. If he goes to the NFL after saying this whole time he will only go if he can coach his sons, he's a liar. That's lying.
It's not lying at all, because a lot of us change our minds in this world.
All of us change our
come
minds.
on, you do.
I will not take
you.
that, because he keeps going on these shows and they keep asking about it. He's like, you think I'm going to say something because I'm going to be a social media clip?
What do you want him to say?
I want him to say, hey, the opportunity presents itself, maybe.
And then you'd come in here and kill him because
I
he's
wouldn't.
got one foot in the door and one out the door.
He's been telling everyone he's not going to go to the NFL.
So he took a phone call from his former boss, somebody who actually has one of the few people who seem to have a really good relationship with Jerry Jones. He took a phone call from him.
Yeah.
So that doesn't mean anything.
I mean, Bill Belichick took a call from the Patriots or from Tom Brady. You didn't see him going to the Raiders anytime soon, do you? Or do you still think that's happening?
He's in North Carolina.
He's in Colorado.
But now that he's been in North Carolina,
he just took a phone call.
He just took a phone call from Tom Brady about the Raiders opening.
Did he? I don't know if that actually happened.
Well, apparently.
I mean,
they reached
you don't know
out.
that any of it happened, but it's certainly, we're talking about it, right? It's been reported. So what I'm saying is, he also said at the end of all of this that I'm really happy in Boulder, and this is where I am for right now. And so we'll wait and see if he changes his mind, and maybe you have a leg to stand on. But right now, all he did was take a phone call.
He just, I don't like people that.
Oh, you don't like people
that say things over and over and over and over and over and over and over.
Let me tell you something.
Not say, hey, you know what? I was wrong for saying that. I should have kept it open.
Why should he have to say he's wrong when he's not yet?
Okay, I'm jumping ahead a little bit.
You're
in the
jumping ahead a lot of
but
bit.
we all know this is going to happen.
We do.
Yes.
328.
Because Jerry Jones,
keep
what he's
this
doing,
one locked down.
Jerry Jones is old rich guy who thinks he's making the hire that everybody wants to make him to make, and he's not going. It's not a good idea.
Let's break this down a little bit, Chris. What do we know about Jerry Jones?
That he's a little crazy at this point.
A little crazy.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to have all his faculties any longer. I got to be honest.
Superstar of his own franchise.
That's right. He's going to at least get Deion's name out there.
He pretty much said it himself. Like, I bought this team. I basically want to manage it and run it. All right, but here's the thing: the moment he hires Deion, is he still the face and the person that they want to talk to on a daily basis? I think not. A lot of what we've seen from the Dallas Cowboys really have nothing to do with winning, and it seems like Jerry Jones is perfectly fine with that. As long as all the
microphones point to him at the end of every game.
End of game,
he's good. I'm not in Dallas, but after games, don't the media just walk right past Mike McCarthy and go straight to Jerry Jones?
I don't even think they even think about going to Mike McCarthy.
That's what I mean.
They go right to
now, Jerry,
would that be the case?
And he welcomes them.
Would that be the case if Coach Prime was the head coach there? I don't think it would.
No,
we haven't seen that really since what? Jimmy Johnson? That was the last. Maybe Bill Parcells was the last coach that the media didn't walk by. Whoever was the head coach.
I mean, Troy Aikman said the last coaching hire that the Cowboys made that made any sense was Jimmy Johnson.
I will say this. He better hope Deion takes this job. Because as also Troy Aikman said, this is not the coveted job that it used to be.
No.
And that's it. And listen, last cycle you could get away with it because there wasn't like crazy names, but when you got the likes of Ben Johnson out there, you've already missed out on Mike Vrabel for this one. The defensive coordinator,
Aaron Glenn.
There's a lot of quality coaching candidates out there.
Robert Saleh.
All of them.
Ton of them.
I'm including him too. I know his name has been muddied by being a Jet head coach, but talented coaches out there, and no one seems to be jumping at the chance, at least as we know right now, to be the Dallas Cowboy coach.
I just want to clear one thing up for Scraby. If you go through the rest of your life hating people who change their mind, stay single.
He's going to stay single.
Stay single, because if you ever get married and you don't like people who change their minds, you're going to be in trouble.
I'm okay.
My wife changes her mind before the waitress gets back to the kitchen with the slip of paper.
I'm okay with people changing their mind on where they want to go to dinner. That's fine.
But not where they want to spend the next 5-6 years of their life.
No, not when you tell everybody for the past 5 years, I just want to stay in Colorado.
Why do you care?
I don't want to go to the NFL. I have no interest in the NFL.
Scraby, is it affecting your life?
No, but
what? It's not affecting your life.
No, I just don't like liars.
Just
don't like liars. Just don't like liars. Hey, you guys, okay.
This guy.
Deion takes that job. Can you sit here and tell me he's not a liar?
I hope he's not a liar. He changed his mind.
That's such a cop out. That's like saying
I don't think it is.
That's like a murderer on their deathbed saying, "I just made peace with God. I'm all good."
What's wrong with that?
I don't know. I just brought it up.
What's wrong with
freaking out right now? I'm freaking out.
I will say one thing that you're going to be surprised I say, Scraby.
I just lost my pen.
You're going to be surprised I say this. I think if they hired Deion, I think it'd be wonderful. The bright lights, the whole thing. I'm not that impressed with Deion as a game managing coach.
I don't think
he really needs work in that category. He would have to hire somebody that helps him do that stuff.
I don't think,
because he does a lot of weird things with Colorado.
Yeah, I mean, you can get away with the kind of stuff in college.
That's
football,
what I mean.
Because you got superior athletes, but everybody's a good athlete in the NFL. And I think it would be a bad decision for a coaching decision for Deion. I think he should stay where he's at, build, continue to get strong. Because, listen, at this point, I wouldn't touch the Dallas Cowboys with anything.
Yeah.
Stay away. X marks the spot. Let's get to break. On the other side, we get back into some game show play. Fantabulous sports game show. Me, Scraby, next.
On Wednesday's show.
Moment from the fun and games department of sports to play some fun and games. It is Chris's Fantabulous Sports Game Show, and it's coming up after a check of traffic.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Fire crew's got a good handle on this brush fire northbound side of the 5 near Genesee. It's over to the right shoulder now. No more lanes blocked. Up ahead near Delmar Heights Road, we're getting reports of some landscape debris in middle lanes. I'm Kelly Danick with Gwynn Chris, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Hey, all you beautiful people out there, it's time to play one of our favorite games of the week.
All right!
We like to call it...
Ooh, I'm going to go.
Chris's Fantabulous Sports Game Show!
And it starts right now on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, time for the Fantabulous Sports Game Show. You can play along out there. There are 20 correct answers today for 24 possible points. That means there are a couple of repeats, and if you get those correct, you'll get more than 1 point for guessing those particular answers, and I'll tell you the category in a second. Scraby and then Tony will make selections, guesses, and they'll go back and forth with correct answers. If you get one wrong, you get a strike. Simple?
Yes.
All right. Today's category, Super Bowl's coming up, guys. Couple of weeks away, and actually when the Super Bowl is over, there will be another name added to this list. What I want from you guys is to name the losing Super Bowl quarterbacks in this century.
So since the year 2000.
So we're starting with the year 2000 Super Bowl. I am going to help you a little bit. The 1999 Super Bowl was actually played in 2000, right? Because they always play it.
Ravens, Giants?
No. The game I'm telling you about was Titans, Rams. Even though that was played in 2000, that counts as 1999. So don't guess.
What was that? That
game.
was Titans, Rams?
That was the last one that is not part of this list. So you want something after that.
That was when Dyson came up a little short on the reach.
Right, when he just reached for the end zone. That game was actually played in the year 2000. I don't want everybody, writing into me, but that's the 1999 season, so that doesn't qualify. You want everything from the 2000 season forward. 24 correct answers. I'm sorry, 20 correct answers for 24 points. Scraby, you go first. I mean, if you get somebody who's lost more than one Super Bowl, you get more than 1 point. So,
okay, great.
Take advantage of that if you can.
Even though he won a lot, he also lost some too. Mr. Brady.
Tom Brady. That's a good start for you, Scraby. And it's going to help you. Tom Brady's lost 3 Super Bowls.
So he gets 3 points?
He gets 3 points for that. Yeah. Now, there are a couple of other guys who lost 2, Tony, so if you get one of those, that'll help. Brady lost twice to Eli and the Giants. He also lost
to the
Eagles. Yeah, so Brady's lost 3. Tony, your first selection here.
I know who lost twice.
All right.
We're doing the quarterback, right?
Losing quarterback, correct.
Kurt Warner.
Kurt Warner lost 2. That's correct. He lost to the Patriots, the
first one.
The first Brady Super Bowl championship. He also lost to Roethlisberger and the Steelers that year.
So
Warner lost 2.
Mr. Debo Harrison.
Debo made that.
Running down the...
Oh, yeah, James Harrison's return.
That was crazy.
All right, there's one person left who's lost 2, and then everybody else has lost once. Scraby, you're ahead 3-2, and it's your turn. Scraby.
Lost 2, huh?
There's one player left if you want to try for that one. Or you can just name somebody that lost once, and we'll move along. Scraby, you got to, he's thinking.
Oh, I know who the 2 is. Peyton Manning.
Dang it!
You got it.
I was trying to think of his other loss. It was to the Seahawks. They got blown out.
Yes, when he was in Denver, he lost one, and he also lost one as a Colt. All right, so 5-2, Tony. You got a little ground to make up, but, I still believe in you.
Let's go ahead and let's get Big Ben on the board.
Everybody's won. Roethlisberger lost to the Packers in 2010 season. Correct. 5-3. All right, Scrabe, we're rolling along here nicely. Who do you have, Matt? You're ahead An unfamiliar position for you.
Yes, your name is Matt.
Matt.
Every time you guys call me Matt, it's weird.
I know, it's weird to me when I said it.
I'll just choose one of my 49ers quarterbacks that couldn't get the job done. Fade to the back of the end zone, Mr. Harbaugh. That would be Colin Kaepernick.
Colin Kaepernick. Kaepernick lost to the Ravens 2012 Super Bowl.
Just hand it off to Frank Gore. You're on the 1 yard line. Come on.
Yeah, that's your guy, Jim Harbaugh, who proved his coaching chops here over the weekend. Not too well, I might add. All right, Tony, 6-3, but a long way to go. Losing quarterbacks.
Russell Wilson.
Oh.
Russell Wilson lost to
Tom
the
Brady.
Interception by...
Hand it off to Mr. Beast Mode.
Yeah.
Are we learning a lesson?
We
Hand
are.
it off when you're on the 1 yard line.
Off.
Yeah, or pitch it back, Steve Sarkisian, and lose 7 yards. All right, 6-4. Scraby on top. Still a long way to go here. Losing quarterbacks this century in the Super Bowl.
One of my most favorite moments of the last 5 years was when Patrick Mahomes lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
He did. That's correct, Patrick Mahomes.
The only one, Scrapes.
I know.
He had blocking similar to what Sam Darnold had last night in that game. Proof that if they don't block, and even the greatest quarterback can't win. 7-4, Tony.
Rex Grossman.
Ooh, wow.
That's a good one.
That was a sneaky one.
That was a good one.
Rex lost with the Bears to Peyton Manning and the Colts, 2006.
Peyton's first.
Peyton.
In the rain, Devin Hester returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown, but it wasn't enough for the Bears.
Debating Manning.
7-5, Scrabe. On top. Scrabe, you're in the lead here. This is weird.
Walking you down, son.
We'll see.
Oh, this was really funny. Antonio Brown tweeted about this guy yesterday. Said he can jump from a boat to a helicopter, but he can't dive on a fumble in the Super Bowl. Cam Newton.
Oh, wow. That was impressive, though, by the way.
It was.
250, pulling himself up on a helicopter.
It was really impressive.
That was not... They're doing... You seen this, Chris?
No.
It's called...
They're doing like some SEAL team type...
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a bunch of was it celebrities?
Yeah.
And Cam Newton's going from a boat to a plane, like
going
jumping
fast.
And he pulled it. I mean, it was impressive.
He pulled it off. He was able to hit the ski, climb up the ski into the helicopter,
and he started to yell like he just scored a touchdown. And the Navy SEALs, like captain, was, "Hey, stop yelling!"
And he also said that if he had his whole life to do over again, the one thing he would do was dive on that ball because it never leaves him.
He did say that.
8-5. Scrapey might win this one, Tony. I don't know.
Can't let it happen.
I know you can't. What do you got?
I just hit a blank all of a sudden. Oh, this is one of my favorite ones. Jake Delhomme.
Good one. Jake Delhomme.
That is a really
that's
good
one of my favorites.
His loss came the year that Janet Jackson did her
Oh, yes.
2003 Super Bowl.
Delhomme.
There would not be another hip-hop act until Jay-Z took over at that point.
It took a while. 8-6. Scraby rolling. On top here.
All right, I'll take my other 49ers quarterback, Jimmy G.
Jimmy G lost 5 years ago to the Chiefs. And how he lost, I'll never know because they had that game wrapped up. But alas, they lost to the Chiefs.
Yes.
We have proof of that, do we not?
Oh, we do have proof. This was me during that game. If I could. Oh.
How did this happen?
It's true. I didn't know how it happened because they were my 10 points.
All right, there are only 10 correct answers left. Tony's down by 3.
Donovan McNabb.
Ooh, man, you're thinking of all the ones I'm not thinking of.
Donovan
That's kind of the
McNabb
whole point.
threw up on the field during
Yes, he
the
did.
late going of that game.
T.O. was playing with a broken leg and balling.
9-7. Scraby, go. Losing quarterbacks in the Super Bowl this century is the category today.
You know what?
What?
We
What, Scraby?
We talk to Adam about this all the time. His quarterback, Matt Ryan, lost to the Patriots after being up 28-3.
10-7. Starting to believe, Scrabe.
Believe
that you might win. 4, 5, 6, 7.
Believe.
8 left.
To this guy.
Scraby's got a 3-point lead, but it's Tony's turn.
Last names are still good?
Sure.
Collins. This is the first of the 2000s.
Dang it, I've been hanging on to that.
What's his first name again?
Kerry Collins.
Kerry Collins.
Giants.
Penn State.
Boy, did they get crushed by the Ravens in that game.
The Ravens just beat them.
The Giants' only points in that
something.
game came on a kick return. I mean, they didn't hardly get over midfield against that defense. All right, 10-8. Scraby, no strikes yet. 7 left. Scraby.
All right, I'm going to go Rich Gannon.
Wow, Scraby, I think you're
going to
win.
Gannon pick, man.
I think you're going to win,
I'm not happy with you, Scraby.
How many are left?
6. You're up by 3. I think if you get 2 more points, Scrabe, it's over.
Is it now?
I think so.
Is it now?
Tony.
Jeff Goff's brother.
Jared.
Oh.
Lost a heartbreaker and a thriller to the Patriots, 13-3.
Really good one, Tony.
2018. 11-9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left. Super Bowl losing quarterbacks this century. You guys have ripped them all off with 5 to go. Scraby closing in on a victory, if he can get it.
Did Matt Hasselbeck lose to the Steelers?
Are you asking?
I'm
telling?
No.
Yes, he did. That is correct. 2010.
You asked. I just told you.
Okay, it's 12-9. You know what else? There's actually only 3 left. I've been saying it wrong. There's 3 left, and Tony has to get them all to force a tie.
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow, 12-10. Scraby, you can win it here. There's 2 correct answers left. Super Bowl losing quarterbacks this century.
Hold on, everybody.
Now we holding on, huh?
Yeah, how long are you going to get?
What we waiting on here?
We got some time.
You're taking like 11 minutes?
How much time do we have?
I don't think you get endless time here.
I'm blanking right now.
Be fair to yourself and, just say you don't know if you don't know.
I don't know.
All right, he takes a strike.
I need to think.
Tony, can you come up with one to make it 12-11?
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts, correct.
That's an easy one. That is an easy one.
Scraby, name the final quarterback that has lost a Super Bowl this century, and you win the game.
I get some time on this one.
No, you take as much as you think is fair.
I get some time on this one.
Scraby Chronicles start in 2 hours and 10 minutes.
My brain, I'm feeling the heat, guys. My brain has gone blank.
Well, you could just guess somebody. Maybe they lost the Super Bowl. I'm going to have to give you a strike here, Scrabe. I think that's strike 2.
Give me a second.
No more.
Give me a second.
Give me a second. Oh, dang. Who was the last one?
Yeah, Tony's still got to come up
Did I
with it.
officially...
You just got your second strike. Tony still has to come up with it, though, to force a tie. And if we get a tie, I think we're going to have to go with
God.
it. Well,
I know
you can't do it. You missed your time. Now Tony has his couple minutes. If he doesn't get it, then you can win it, Scrabe. Tony, for the tie. And I think we're just going to have a tie. I don't really have another tie-breaking category here. Sounds like Scraby's putting the pressure on you because he thinks he knows it.
I could be faking it, too.
You didn't sound like it there. I'm just saying.
I don't think he was said yet, was he?
I don't know. You better guess somebody.
Isn't it Brock Purdy?
Last year, Brock Purdy is correct.
I can't believe
You guys went through the whole list, and you never said the guy who won last year. Or lost last year. Now it's a tie. We could go tie unless you want me to think of something crazy here, but you guys let me know. I can do something
Not
as...
really.
You didn't even use your guy.
Well, I named off the other ones, the lost too.
You know, as we were playing the game, Tony, I thought your strategy wasn't great. I thought you should have named the 49ers to take them away from him. But you were naming all of the ones that I don't think he knew.
He wouldn't have got, but I couldn't think of any.
Oh, you couldn't think of any others. So yeah, well, you did what you had to do.
Why is it that the most recent thing is the furthest from my mind?
That is just reason why I thought of it because I just said Jalen Hurts and I was like, wait, that was 2 years ago. Who was last year? And I was like, oh wait a minute, weren't the 49ers in the Super Bowl last year?
Yeah, last year.
That is back-to-back weeks where I blew it.
Well, you got a tie out of it, Scrape. I think we'll just go tie because I don't really have a good.
We don't get the mariachi music.
No mariachi music today.
I should get it because I walked you down like I told you I was going.
It was 12-9.
Well, then I started playing the game. Oh, I don't know.
Walk you down.
Maybe we get another one wrong.
Walked you down, buddy.
It was 12-9, Scrape. You can take that home with you.
You know I will.
A tie in today's Fantabulous Sports Game Show. Good job, though, you guys. Got every single one. I really thought Jake Delhomme.
I think I threw my shoulder out.
I thought Rex Grossman. I thought Matt Hasselbeck. I thought Kerry Collins.
Those are the easy ones for me.
Well, I thought they'd all be hard. But you guys really did well, obviously. You got them all. So
that was close.
All right.
Oh, they're asking for my heart rate.
Yeah, what you got now? You over 150?
I got to... No, it's 98.
It's close to it. It's close
100.
to 100.
Just went to a hundo?
It's like a hundo.
It's circling around a hundo?
76 or something.
All right. You got your chance to win now. It's Chris versus the fans. A little trivia for you out there. Perhaps earn yourself a trip to Las Vegas on Gwynn and Chris.
4:01 on the clock. Gwynn and Chris, Tony Gwynn Jr., Chris Ello, Matthew Scraby with a terrific Fantabulous Sports game show that last segment. I walked Scraby down.
I just talked to the official judges. I'm not the official judge. I have some people you guys don't know about this. They're official judges of this game. They called me during the break. They said, the final score was 12 points each, but Tony got 11 correct answers and Scraby got 9.
Don't care.
So,
walk team down.
We are ruling Tony Gwynn the winner.
There it is. 11-9.
And I've just been saying it for years, but you just realized, everybody, that's why they fixed the game.
There's no fix. Scraby had a 12-9 lead because he got the Tom Brady answer correct, which gave it an automatic 3 points, and then he proceeded to get walked down. I had no strikes either, by the way. You, on the other hand, had to take one.
Two.
My fault.
Yeah, I think officially Tony Gwynn Jr. victory.
I think
that's not true.
I think that's
Look at him over there. If
that is not true.
If the multiple answers wasn't a thing, I probably would have gone with Tom Brady first.
You would have definitely gone.
I went for Tom Brady because it was 3 points.
You couldn't even remember your own quarterback, bro.
But I remembered other guys. Okay?
From last year.
From last year. It was the most recent one.
I know. Yeah. I told you.
That hurt.
I don't know why I can remember that Kerry Collins lost to the Giants or the Ravens in 2000.
Speaking of Kerry Collins, I don't know. It kind of reminded me of each other because they played in the same era. Did you guys? And I don't know if you guys talked about this when I was gone, but did you guys peep Jake Plummer on the sideline of the Arizona State game?
Didn't see him.
He was very excited.
All I could think about was his love for mushrooms as he was on
me too.
the sideline acting like a lunatic.
Yeah, me too. Okay, good. I'm so happy you said that because I was thinking the same thing. Chris, you know that he is he's like a grower of
all kinds of
medicinal mushrooms.
Yeah. Oh, okay. No, I didn't get to see much of that game. We had a basketball game while that was going on, so I was kind of watching on the side.
He was on the sideline. Like I was happy to see him because he kind of lives out in the middle of nowhere, but he was excited for his Arizona State Sun Devils. I enjoyed seeing that. But then my next thought was, I wonder has he done any mushrooms today? As he was on the side.
He's microdosing.
He looked like he had.
We got Chris versus the fans coming your way. 833-288-0973. Shall we get to the game now?
Sure.
We shall.
All right.
If you had one shot, one opportunity to take down the human almanac himself,
howdy do.
Now is your time.
Listen to me, this guy is dangerous.
Now is your opportunity to win a prize.
Well, I hope you know what you're in for.
Chris versus the fans starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, the prize today, you'll be qualified for a chance to win our grand prize, the trip to Las Vegas to see Scorpions on March 6th, plus a 2-night stay at Planet Hollywood and a $100 gas card. Scorpions returns with their 60 years of the Scorpions Las Vegas residency show, live February 27th to March 11th at PH Live at Planet Hollywood Resort and Casino. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. And the rules. You have to make it through 3 questions. Each question will get more difficult. If you get the question right, you move on. If you get the question wrong and Chris gets it right, you're eliminated. But if Chris gets it wrong, then you move on to the next question or you win. If you're a first-time player,
we decided yesterday that without you, it really didn't sound good yesterday.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, very tinny.
Very tinny. Very tinny.
We needed your bass below us. There we go.
Isn't that like a falsetto?
That's
I don't know.
I don't know. I think you're right.
If you're a first-time player, let us know because then you get that question for free today.
Dope.
We're
ready.
Contestant.
I need him.
Let's go to Jason.
Jason, welcome on this lovely Tuesday afternoon. How's your day?
Pretty good. How about you guys?
Hi, Jason.
What's going on, Jason?
Hello.
Thank you.
Here we go. First question.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. Here we go.
This is such a scrappy question. Where would you find a crunch?
Oh, wait. Sorry. I just asked that yesterday.
Oh, that was funny. I was ready to ask about the Crunch Wrap.
Supreme, yes.
We'll go to another food source. Which fast food restaurant offers tacos and egg rolls? Oh, this is lovely.
Tacos and egg rolls.
Tacos and egg rolls.
Say it again.
Tacos and egg rolls. Oh my gosh.
What fast food restaurant serves tacos and egg rolls?
Yes, that's the question.
That is the question. Again.
I don't think you have to worry here, Jason, because don't know what you're talking about.
Roberto's.
Roberto's. Yeah.
I do love their egg rolls. Stay there, Jason. Stay there.
I couldn't even begin to tell you on this one.
I thought this was an easy question.
This is an easy one.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. Jack in the Box.
Ding, 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 ding.
Sorry. It just came to me. The Jack in the Box has a bunch of really dumb things on the menu. And that is one of them.
Certainly not dumb when you've had some adult beverages.
Really? Those egg rolls go down easy?
They hit the speeds out. They go down easy.
They are piping hot. I have burned my mouth on those egg rolls late at night before.
They still are good.
Still are delicious.
Really?
Yes.
God.
I don't know about it anymore.
I don't know if they're actually good. They go down good.
Yes,
you know what
they
I'm saying?
do.
Like,
Yes, they do.
who's our next contestant there, Scrape?
Next up,
our salsa guy, John in Temecula.
Oh, John, welcome back, man.
Hey, John.
Hey, what's happening, guys? How are you?
I gotta tell you, John, I'm a big fan of your jam. It is
okay.
high quality.
You got some. Scraby said you went home from the studio with it. I'm glad you got it. Glad you like it, man.
Yeah, it was delicious, man. I appreciate it. All right, let's go.
By the way, those egg rolls do taste good late at night after being sucked up a little bit.
We have support for the egg rolls.
Egg rolls are amazing, and they're cheap.
I wasn't surprised that Chris said Jack in the Box got a lot of dumb things on the menu. That was funny. But then when Tony said what he said, I was like, yep.
All right, here we go. First question. Yes. What team drafted Manti Te'o after he left Notre Dame?
The Chargers.
The Chargers, indeed, drafted him. Here we go. Round number 2.
Did he end up, I forget. There was so much controversy. Was he ever a good player?
No,
I don't really remember
he
him.
wasn't. He ended up going to the Saints right after.
Yeah.
I think that was
never
the end
really
of it.
worked out. Yeah. Okay.
All right, here we go. Among the playoff teams that played this weekend, which team scored the most points in their game?
Oh, wow. 32 was the Texans. And
gonna go through every game.
35 was the Bills.
The Bills. Too bad.
Oh, no. Go for it.
Texans, 32. I think the Bills scored 31.
Yeah, I'm sorry, John.
Oh, 31.
Yeah.
Man, you were right there, too.
Yeah. Good
Thank
try,
you, John. For everything.
Thanks for joining us as always. Yep.
And always thank you for the
Yeah,
jam.
thanks, guys. Happy New Year.
You too,
Yes,
brother.
sir.
All right.
Now I'm thinking of what's his face for the Happy New Year, Larry David.
Yeah, he doesn't like it on January 14th.
Yeah, Scrape
Too
was
late.
mad about me last week bringing up.
Well, I don't care if a listener says it to us, but when you're telling me Happy New Year and it's been like 14 days and we've seen each other for like 13 of those 14 days, you know?
Get another contestant on the air.
Please.
Do your job, Johnny Gilbert.
Oh, you're just going to sit down?
Yeah,
and not
I'm
do
going to pout
anything?
after that
You're gonna-
comment.
You're pouting after that one?
Do your job. I don't yell at you to do your job when you're
I
not
said
doing
Johnny
it.
Gilbert.
I think
come
you
on.
do yell at him to do his job.
Do your job, Gilbert Grape.
Just
No,
give
you
me the
don't.
contestant, man.
Yeah, no good.
I mean, Johnny Gilbert Grape.
Contestant, please.
Benoit.
Benoit?
Not Chris Benoit.
How you doing, Benoit? How you doing, man?
I don't know. Is everything good over there?
Yeah, well, I hope so. I think
Yeah,
Scraby's
we'll
in
make
his
it.
feelings, but
Yeah.
we'll get past
It's
it.
nothing new, Benoit.
Yeah,
this happens often.
This is where we get to. Here we go. First question. It's another good one. Shaq played what in the movie Kazam?
Played Kazam.
And
What
Kazam
was
what?
Kazam?
It's a genie.
Okay.
There you go.
No, you're right. Don't go back.
change
Don't go
it.
back.
You're good. Question number 2.
By the way, great movie.
He said great movie.
When it came out when I was a kid, I loved Shaq, and
I love Shaq too, but Kazam was not it.
He found Rear Window boring, but Genie or Kazam is great.
I also saw Kazam when I was like 9 years old, so that's
You
why
still
it appealed
put it
to
in
me.
the great category.
Okay,
Here we go.
it's an average movie.
Question number 2. What team does Kyle Tucker play for now?
Oh, boy.
I don't even know. The Astros? I don't know.
Astros.
Yeah. I had to rifle through my mind for this one, but I believe I landed on Cubs.
The Baby Bears?
Baby Bears.
Baby Bears is correct.
All right, Benoit, thanks, buddy, for coming on. Take another shot at it.
You're out of number ones, buddy.
Oh, just wait.
He'll think of some other stuff. Oh, by the way, somebody yesterday guessed that a quarter pounder was served where? Did they say? Or they just didn't even have a guess.
Burger King.
They said Burger King.
Because they never eat fast food.
They never eat fast food. But I said 99% of America still knows
Quarter
that
pounder?
one.
Yeah. Sure, that's Mickey D's.
You agree?
Yeah.
All right. I forgot to ask my wife. That was going to be the challenge because she doesn't eat anything like that. But I think she would know that.
All right, I gave you 2, Tony.
Gave you a little time to write a couple there.
This man is hungry, apparently. Here we go.
Let's go to Robert.
Robert?
Next longest holding person.
How are you, my friend?
Good. How are you guys?
Always good to talk to you, Robert.
Here we go. First question. This takes me back right here. What pizza place started the stuffed crust movement? What a brilliant idea this was when it first hit.
I don't know that I've ever had this.
Say it again.
Can you repeat it?
Yes, I can. What pizza place started the stuffed crust movement?
Pizza Hut.
Pizza Hut.
Chris,
Pizza
if you
Hut.
haven't had, we need to get some.
Isn't that
for you.
weird? Never had.
Yeah, that's
never had a
right.
bite of stuffed crust pizza.
We would fight over the crust because the crust is the best
That
part.
good, huh?
Oh, it's so good.
It's a brilliant idea. I mean, I don't know why it took us so long to think about carving out that little piece so we could throw some cheese in there. We like ourselves some cheese.
Yeah. Oh, yes, we do.
Here we go. Question number 2. Where is former Brewer closer Devin Williams now playing?
Kansas City.
Kansas City. He's a Royal. Or he's not.
He's a Yankee.
He's a Yankee.
I got a little lucky because I looked up free agents earlier when we were talking to Matt Snyder. So
there
yeah,
it
I'm
is.
kind of ready for that. Unfortunately for
That is
Robert.
unfortunate.
Yeah.
All right, I think we need tiebreaker.
Yes, we do, because you're out of number 2s now, buddy. So
just constantly, it's my life. Just revolves around making Chris versus the fans. questions.
tiebreaker. How about Tim Hardaway Sr.?
Yeah, why not? He could shoot.
Did you hear his comments about Mr. Butler?
No. No, I
quite
didn't.
Spicy.
Jimmy Butler, is he not supporting James Butler?
He is pro Pat
Not
Riley on this
supporting
one.
James Butler. All right, I got pulled up. Let's go to our contestant, and it will be Mark.
Hello, Mark. Mark, are you there?
Mark.
Hello?
Mark
right.
going once.
All right, we're going to another one. Let's go
Going
to
down.
Andrew.
Andrew, oh, I know you're there, Andrew.
Oh, yeah, I'm here.
Let's go. You know how to play the tiebreaker?
I do.
All right.
Higher or lower?
Here we go.
There we
Tim
go.
Hardaway. It's Mr. Scraby. Senior.
Grew up watching this guy.
Killer crossover.
TMC, right?
TMC.
He was the
TMC,
T,
right?
right? He was the T. Who was the M was Mullins, C was
Chris Webber?
No.
No.
I think it was Tim, Mitch, and Chris. Mitch Richmond.
Mitch Richmond was the M,
was
and
the
Chris
M, and
Mullen was
Mullen
the C. There you go. Yeah.
All right, Chris, how many threes did Tim Hardaway make in his career?
What years did he play?
He
Honestly, I
played from
need to know.
89 through 03, so he played 13 seasons. And he sat out 1 year.
But 09 to like 97, nobody shot the three.
Or 89, you mean?
I mean, he could make them, but he didn't shoot more than, 14 years?
13.
13 years. 2000?
2000. All right.
I don't know.
Andrew, is the actual answer higher or lower?
Lower.
Lower.
Oh,
sorry.
We went over. I thought I was way
Wait, I'm
too
sorry.
high there.
Jeez.
Math brain.
This guy can't add.
Oh,
or
brother.
subtract.
You did right,
you're a
Andrew.
winner,
Stay
Andrew.
there.
A delayed
I'm sorry.
winner.
I'm
He probably
sorry.
hung up and threw his phone across the room.
No, I'm sorry. That was my bad.
I mean, come on, Scrape.
He said 2000. I got confused for a second.
Wait. When he said 2000, what went in your head?
I just immediately shot to, never mind. You don't need to know.
No, I kind of want to hear your math in your head.
So when he said 2000, I looked at the number, and then I asked Andrew, and Andrew said lower. But in my head, I had already, basically said it was going to be wrong. So that's why I clicked the wrong button.
Got you.
What was the total?
Oh,
Just for the
that
hell
would be
of it.
help. 1,542 threes.
1,542.
Why are you rating that down?
I'm not.
Oh, it looked like he was writing it down.
I'm having a conversation with our boss on my text phone here.
We're getting there, don't you
On my
worry.
text phone.
Yes, on text. All right.
It's just for his phones that he texts on. He doesn't actually answer it.
Oh, he has an answering phone.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, my goodness.
All right. We're
Wait a
late.
minute. We got to update the LA versus Jupiter score. And what is this golf
It's
league?
TGL. It's the Tiger Woods Rory McIlroy Indoor Golf League that just started last week.
I have to say, I don't know who the created player is on here, but you know how you can create a player and you can make them look at whoever created him has created the longest
really
torso
understand.
in the history of mankind.
So their drive and their approach shot is virtual golf.
Correct.
But then they place their ball on a real putting green to putt.
Yes.
This is weird to me.
It is weird. And the reason that
Really
they're doing
weird.
this is because I believe, this is actually a me opinion, Tiger can't play a long golf course anymore. People want to watch Tiger play. This is how you watch Tiger play now. And when Tiger puts his name behind something, you're going to get all the names. Colin Morikawa's there, Rory McIlroy, Justin Rose, Max
Oh, they have a
Homa.
good lineup. That's for sure.
I just don't know how it's going to work.
I think I said this off air. I think they see an opening. I think it is a free for all right now in the game of golf, trying to capture an audience in a way that the tour has kind of lost with the break off of what is it? What's
Live.
it called? Live.
Yeah.
I think it creates an opening for something to kind of slide in there and grab a hold of a piece of this thing. So we'll see. It's kind of weird to get used to indoor golf. Where there's
It's very
simple.
Well, it's virtual golf. I mean, they're just hitting the
except for
ball into
chipping.
a screen.
Right.
Like you do down at your local golf shop when you're testing out a club.
Now I got to watch this closer because I don't know how they determine where they put their ball on the green. Like, is it
Right, I
going
don't-
to tell them where it goes? Is it just
you're
it looks
asking
like
me,
it
I
should
don't
be
know.
in this place? I'm going to drop it here. But they have made up this entire golf course. It's just a bunch of crazy holes that they've made. Like, look at that. You could. It's a fairway split in three.
Did you just tell our listening
Yes,
audience
I
to
know,
look
I
at
know.
that?
I said, and then I said it's a fairway.
We gotta go to break.
I know, and then I was like, well, no one can look at that, so it's a fairway split at three. It's a video game. Blah blah blah.
All right, more Gwynn and Chris on the other side. Here's some traffic.
From the 855, get Ross.
All right, welcome back to Gwynn and Chris. 4:25 is the time, so we got a couple of minutes on this before we get to the Big Five. Mick Cronin last week, UCLA's basketball coach, after a loss to Michigan, really went a little crazy, and I think he went over the line. He said after the game, we're soft. It's crazy. It's every day, and I'm tired of it. I have the most energy of anybody at practice every day. I'm upset with everybody in that locker room, my assistant coaches and my players. What the truth of it has been, it's really hard to coach people who are delusional. We got guys who think they're way better than they are. They're nice kids, but they're completely delusional about who they are. Anyway, has it worked for Mick Cronin? No, not yet. They've lost 2 straight games since that rant. And they're not really good teams. I mean, UCLA was in the top 10 there, weren't they? Maybe, at least. They beat Oregon. They beat Gonzaga.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, they can't beat anybody. Jay Billis, who's a lot of times the voice of reason in college basketball, I thought he hit all of the right notes in his commentary about what Mick Cronin said. And I thought you should take a listen.
Well, Kevin, I didn't care for what Mick had to say after the loss to Michigan. Coaches like to talk about accountability a lot, and rightfully so. I mean, accountability is important in everything, but I don't think that's what accountability really looks like. That, to me, looked simply like blame. And I heard a lot of I'm doing this and I'm doing that and nobody else is doing it. And I don't think that's true, but that's for him to decide, not me. But I didn't care for it. And oftentimes when I hear something like that, and it's not often, I think about what Mike Tomlin of the Pittsburgh Steelers says. And he says he loves coaches that resist the responsibility of coaching because they're easy to beat. And when you talk negatively about your players, what you're really doing is seeking comfort because your teaching is struggling. And Mick Cronin recruited all those players. He brought them in. And he hired all those coaches. And I get it. Like, coaches like to think they're more passionate and they're tougher than their players. But I happen to think this is true. Mick Cronin's not tougher than his players. When he was playing, he would not have gotten one loose ball, one rebound against the guys he's got now. That would not happen. I don't believe any of that, and I don't think it's productive. But if he had said the same thing in the confines of the locker room to his players, that's fine. When you do that publicly, I don't care for it. Maybe his players do. Maybe they'll respond positively to it. I don't think it's the right thing to do. But that's his decision, not mine. I'm just saying what I think of it.
And I love the band. I mean, Jay Billis, this is what you do, Tony. When somebody interviews you on ESPN, you not only make a comment, you hire a band to play behind.
He was live from Duke.
I know he was.
And by the way, that stadium looks so small.
I'm aware that he was live from somewhere.
Cameron Arena is very small.
But what'd you think about what he said, Tony? I mean, I didn't like Cronin's comments at the beginning. I didn't articulate it quite the same way, but I think he made a lot of really good points there, and I don't think Mick Cronin's going to love hearing that, but too bad.
I mean, listen, I think as much as I appreciated Mick Cronin's
honesty
about it, I think, Jay is usually, as you said, he's usually on it. And when you look at it from the perspective in which he told that, right? I mean, those guys ultimately may have needed to hear that message, and maybe they did. And maybe that's also where it should have stopped, was wherever they heard that message. And I likely, since it wasn't in front of the cameras, it likely was in the locker room. I assume, I'll give Mick Cronin at least this leeway that he had the goal to say it to their faces while he was in that locker room before he came out to the presser.
I hope so.
But even if he did, this probably, and this also goes to knowing the guys that you recruited and that you brought in. Are they capable of hearing that the way you presented it? Meaning going to the media and putting them on blast in front of everybody. What we do know is that I think we've learned that a lot of this generation doesn't handle that well. They don't respond to that. And if the ultimate goal is to get your team to respond, right now he's 0 for 2.
Right, they've lost both games. So yeah, I also liked how he kind of said he was referencing Mike Tomlin a coach who himself is on the hot seat.
Right.
And we will talk about him a little bit later
But
on. We've got to recap everything from Monday night and the playoffs.
I think to Jay's point, despite that hot seat, I don't know that I've ever heard Mike Tomlin come in and say, my guys are soft. My guys are he might have some truth serum to what he's saying, but it's presented in a way that doesn't embarrass his team. If anything,
that's what I think Mick Cronin bordered on here. Was really kind of embarrassing his guys.
Right.
I mean, you're calling me delusional? I mean, in front of everybody? Maybe I'm a little wacky, but, it should stay in-house.
It depends on if they are delusional.
But no, I don't think it does depend on it.
I think that's the point.
Honestly, I don't think it depends on it.
I'm sure, I feel like...
Pretty sure they are delusional, or he wouldn't have said that.
Or he wouldn't have said it.
Yeah.
But will he get the response he's looking for going public with the delusional comment?
Not yet.
I don't think so.
He definitely has not gotten that yet.
No, I don't think so.
All right, there's a whole bunch of other things going on in sports. Still ahead in the 5 o'clock hour, good, bad, and ugly from last night's Rams-Vikings game, plus 6 or 7 burning questions about the first round of the NFL playoffs and where we go from here. But before we get to that, Scraby's got today's Big Five. Stick around.
Ben and Woods on the
that he said
Scraby's
that.
always talking trash.
Always
which is
talking
fine.
trash.
Well, I've never missed the opening of a segment before.
You can't. You work on the board, so you got to be on here, sucker.
Right.
How about that?
The segment can't start without you
Right.
here. So
you have a week. We tried to start the show today, and my mic wasn't on. How about that? Were you here for that?
It's your responsibility.
Oh, I tried to turn it on. It wasn't on.
he looks at me for support.
No, I was
and you're
looking-
not going to get it.
Yeah.
I was looking at you for. Don't
Nothing.
cross me over here.
Nothing. Anyway, Scrabe.
Anyway.
We got a big 5 come your way. I think it's going to be good. Scrabe has kind of worked hard at these from time to time. I think today is one of those days.
Yeah, I got some good stuff in there.
All right. So without further ado, let's get into the big 5 after traffic.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Valvoline Instant Drive-Thru Oil Change, your trusted instant drive-thru oil change. A little busy on some of our roads. Got a stalled vehicle south 805 past Mill Bell. It's now over to the right shoulder. Also, collision on South 163 at Friars Road. Looks like that is in the clearing stage over to the right shoulder. Southbound side of the 5 before 8th Street, 2-vehicle accident over to the right shoulder. We've also got a collision on eastbound King Freeway, Spring Street off-ramp. And in the North County, an accident clearing up northbound 15 before Auto Parkway. Everything over to the right shoulder. Stop by any of the 30 San Diego Valvoline Instant Oil Change Centers. You don't have to get out of your car, and it usually only takes 15 minutes or less. Plus, get a free courtesy check of your tires and battery. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for directions and discounts. SoCalOilChange.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Gwynn and Chris, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
It's that time of the show when we check on the latest in sports. Only the most important topics and questions are brought to light.
Stop what you're doing and listen.
These news stories will astound and amaze you. The one, the only.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
The Big 5 starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, everybody, the Big 5.
I should have never admitted that last week.
What?
That I always say, who the hell cares?
Who the hell
Because now I have to do it because people are watching for it on the video.
Maybe that's your way of breaking the habit.
Breaking down the wall.
Yeah.
There it is.
All right.
I don't know. I always say it.
We got some Maryland Terrapins to talk about randomly. We got some Houston Texans news. We got Buster Posey and Justin Verlander. You won't believe what a reporter got caught doing on their little introductory press conference. It's not anything weird, but it's definitely embarrassing for this reporter, so we'll get to that.
Number 5.
And we'll start with this. Comcast gave some Bay Area sports fans less than 24 hours notice about a change to their Xfinity television package that could prevent them from watching the Golden State Warriors, the Sharks, and the Giants. Monday morning, Comcast sent an email to its Bay Area subscribers informing them that Comcast was moving the NBC Sports Bay Area and NBC Sports California channels to a higher tier. The channels will move from the popular package to the more expensive Ultimate package. Tony, these people are very angry because they got 24 hours before they lost access to their Warriors, and they have to pay $18 a month more for these two channels.
An extra $18.
$18 a month for both of these channels.
That's kind of high.
Put the red zone in there. I'll give you $180.
I'm sure the red zone's already in the Ultimate package.
Yeah.
Tony, do you think people are ever going to get to the point of revolt against cable and streaming?
Okay, that's a different question. I think right now at least, I think they've already revolted in cable. I think cord cutting is a plenty popular
This is
thing.
why they're raising the price.
Streaming on
Wait, why are they raising the price? They want to keep customers.
Yeah,
Because okay,
they're losing
I see what you're
customers very fast.
So it hurts the customers to stick with you.
Right. Exactly.
Yes, that's not. You're doing it wrong.
You would think. You would
Yeah.
think.
Should reward the people that are sticking with you.
What was the question again? I'm sorry.
Will people ever get to the point of revolt?
No. We as a society enjoy what we enjoy. And, we've said this often. If we all banded together and stuck together,
we could move mountains.
We could do anything we want.
We were not capable of it.
But we're not. At least we haven't shown the ability to do it to
Not
this
yet.
point.
No.
So, no. The answer is no. They won't take it out on the cable and streaming companies. there's be a small segment of people who execute this plan to perfection, but it won't be enough to move streaming.
You got to have someone with real hatred in their heart. Like
You got
myself.
not someone. You got to have
multiple people.
Millions.
True.
You bet millions? People, I promise you, they start paying attention.
Someone wrote on the Comcast tweet about it saying, well, I don't want to pay $18 for this Warriors team anyway. So maybe they're going to lose more customers.
You tell them.
I don't think they will.
Or commenter.
Chris.
Yeah, real quick. The story I recall that's always stuck with me on stuff like this is that during World War II, when everything was shut down and nobody had any money and, you know, the whole world was askew, the one business that did not suffer was the movie business.
Oh, yeah.
People still went to the same number of movies they always went to.
Of course they did.
They didn't pay for couches and tables and rent and electricity, but they went to movies. And that's the bottom thing here. People are going to pay, you know, or stream. They got to get their entertainment.
I just don't like these companies.
I know you don't. They take advantage of that.
Yes, they do.
Number 4.
The Houston Texans waived wide receiver Deontay Johnson as they prepare for their divisional round playoff game on Saturday against the Chiefs. Following the Texans' wild card playoff victory over the Chargers Saturday, Deontay Johnson was visibly upset in the locker room. He was fully dressed, sitting at his locker, staring in frustration because of the lack of playing time and targets. Running back Joe Mixon and linebacker Azeez Al-Shaair tried to comfort and encourage him, but he was cut anyway. He started the year at the Panthers, was cut. Brought in by the Ravens, cut again. Then brought in by the Texans, and cut for a third time. That's 3 teams cutting you in one season. Chris, how many more chances is this guy going to get?
How many more teams are there left in the...
29.
And he's got 20.
Well, actually, 29.
There you go.
You might get 29.
How long ago was it that he... Everything.
But how long ago was it that he was good?
Last year.
Right?
Yes.
Just didn't catch any touchdowns, but he caught a ton of balls.
And he had some good games in the beginning of this year.
He was balling for Carolina to start.
Yeah.
When it didn't matter.
But Chris, how many more chances? You think just this guy keeps being angry about his involvement in the offense. Why are you going to bring that in?
Well, he should be able to complain his involvement in the Texans offense. I think he was even active.
He had 3 catches for like 24 yards.
Well, yeah, I think he'll get a couple more chances. I think somebody will bring him in at least next year. I can't imagine why you wouldn't. This guy, what at his high for the Steelers, 107 catches. That's 4 years ago. It's not that long ago.
I don't think the talent is the question.
No.
It's what's going on upstairs.
Well,
Tony,
but there's a lot of lunatics out there, including Azeez Rahim, whatever his name is, the guy who got suspended for targeting
Trevor
Lawrence. Then everybody stuck up and said he's a great guy. And then there's a shot of him the other day taking a swing at Ladd McConkey when McConkey's sitting in the pile. I think this Shire guy's got a couple of screws loose, honestly.
Clearly, he's a safety.
No, he's a linebacker.
I mean, well, same thing. He's crashing into somebody all the time.
How many more chances?
He's got a lot. I mean, listen, you would hope after one trade and 2 release jobs.
You think he'd get the message.
I think when he's able to sit down and kind of reevaluate, that there's got to be a look in the mirror here at some point. Because I think we're not questioning the talent. We're questioning, in this case, it seems like being able to sacrifice, right? He went from Pittsburgh, where he was pretty much the number 1 target after, those receivers left, Antonio Brown, Claypool. He goes to Carolina, where they're not a good team, but he's balling. And then you would think, you take a guy out of a situation where they suck and they're not very good and put him in a winning situation. First it was Baltimore. Can't get along there. Then he goes to his new destination, the Texans. Can't get along there. So now he's released. I think at some point when these situations happen, an athlete will have a come to Jesus moment, if you will.
Does the agent say anything?
It depends on what kind of agent. You got a good agent, yeah. Hey, man, you need to get it together, man. I can't keep going.
Agent's not making any money every time he gets cut, right?
They sure aren't.
Yeah.
And so you start, if you got good people around you, somebody's going to tell you the truth. Hopefully he can get there, because if he can, he's more than talented and can help everybody.
Totally.
Number 3.
The Maryland Terrapins are a big basketball Terrapins are a big basketball program. We're starting to see how much they can spend on their players. As shared by Inside Maryland Sports at 24/7, the team has spent around $3 million, according to reports, and that number is only going to increase, according to head coach Kevin Willard, as the $20 million pool will have a large portion spent on the basketball team for the school. But Kevin Willard makes a really good point. Quote, I'll say this, as an assistant coach from Arizona got arrested and put in jail for talking about money a few years ago, and now all of a sudden we're going to be spending $4 or $5 million per year on a basketball roster. It's changed so dramatically from calls with agents. If you talked to an agent a few years ago, you would be suspended by the NCAA. Now half my day is talking to agents and their clients and what they want, what they're looking for. End quote. Tony, should charges be dropped on people who got in trouble? I don't know, recently.
I mean, it's a question worth asking. I mean, just think about it on a real life scale, right? Marijuana is now legal across most of the United States.
Are there people sitting in jail right now?
In jail
Yes, there are.
for small amounts of marijuana charges, right?
Yeah.
And there's a push to drop those charges.
Yep.
That's I would say, a little more serious.
Yeah.
Right? In some cases. It's kind of the same thing. Like there are a lot of people. I mean, remember the scandal that took out like a bunch of assistants and
how about Tony Bland at San Diego State
being one of them
when he went to Syracuse and everything else? Yeah.
I mean, so I don't know the answer to that, but I would say it's a question worth asking at this point. The rules have changed in such a way, and I'm starting to take offense to the NIL conversation, because a lot of what we're talking about is not NIL. It's collectives that are getting this money and basically saying we'll pay you this much. NIL is name, image, and likeness. Not every player is capable of having that. And so I think NIL in some ways is taking a bad rap because it's being kind of thrown in.
NIL itself was a good idea.
Right. The collective
but they have
part,
just run away with
the collective
whole thing.
have kind of jumped on the NIL deal and have kind of brought that in, mixed it together. But it's a good question to ask. I don't have an answer. I mean, you would think if the rules are what they are now, I mean, wouldn't it be fair to kind of revisit those at the very least?
Yeah.
Now,
Chris?
I will say this one thing. There was a rule at the time.
Yeah.
Rules were broken at the time. But maybe the harshness of the penalty can be looked at again.
I don't even know if NCAA knew they were going to be at this point in 2
They
years.
they
when
tried not to be here, for
they
sure.
did. Chris, what do you think?
I think we kind of ran it. I mean, in the conversation. I don't have anything other than that.
Okay, great.
Number 2.
Jeremiah Smith's achievements go beyond being the most impactful freshman wide receiver in recent memory for Ohio State. He's 19 years old. He's among a handful of players at his age to get permanent total disability insurance to protect himself against a career-ending injury, CBS Sports learned. Taken out by the family before the college football playoff, policy not only protects Smith in the event of a football injury, but in everyday life for the term of the coverage. I learned that, reading this article, sometimes colleges and teams will pay for the premiums because it was allowed to be taken from the general athletic fund instead of like the football fund. So, Chris, do you think teams should pay for their players' career insurance?
Well, they're already paying them a bunch of money to play on the team in the first place, are
Jameis
they not
Winston
now?
was paid by Florida State. They paid for it.
Come on. I mean, the kid at Miami, the quarterback's going to make $4 million. And what's another insurance premium to help protect him?
If he's
the
gonna
whole
come to your
thing is
school?
so run amok right now, anything seems legal until they get a handle on it. So
I'll say this. It's a great way to entice a player to play in these bowl games.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you want me to play, get my insurance, and I'll be happy to come out here and play.
I'll tell you one thing, Jeremiah Smith didn't have to worry about getting hurt in the last game. He had one catch for 3 yards.
That dude is...
But the game before that, he was crazy good.
That dude's a grown man, for sure.
He is. He definitely
Ryan
is.
Day couldn't figure out a way to get him the ball. What a great coach.
All right, here we go. Question number 1.
Can you tell who I'm going to be rooting for on Monday night?
So the Buster Posey, Justin Verlander press conference was done yesterday, and it got off to a weird start. Now, I'm showing this video on the YouTube right now, but you'll be able to hear it as well. Pay attention to when Buster is talking and what happens.
Lucky enough to get to compete against him for a number of years, and have always admired
What?
the way that he takes care of business.
Look at Justin's name.
You guys can just, all the media on here, if you can just mute yourselves, please. I'll change it. All right, I'll change it.
That was Justin Verlander.
Lucky enough to get to compete against him for a number of
Buster
years.
just keeps going?
No. Restart. Guess what?
What was his
name was Kate Upton. Justin Verlander's name was Kate Upton on the Zoom.
Oh, I didn't see that.
But look,
Okay, that's
look what
funny.
pops up during this. Like, it knows that he's talking, and so it puts up his picture. And so everybody knows who this is. My question to you guys is, how embarrassing is this?
That's really embarrassing right there.
It's a faux pas.
I think Justin Verlander's kind of upset by it, too. I got to show you.
Fine,
his
I'll
look.
change it.
Yeah, he did do that.
Well, what,
kind
did he want to keep it, Kate Upton?
I don't think it matters what his name
You know what
is.
that tells me? Justin does not have a Zoom account. He's just using his
Right. Honey, can I use your Zoom account?
He's using his wife's Zoom account. That's funny.
That is funny, but this is incredibly embarrassing for this poor guy. You'll find this video online, but the PR guy, Matt Chisholm, was
I
like...
love Matt, by the way. Shout out to Matt.
He's
Good
like,
people.
oh, he's got this look like, all right.
No, he was embarrassed.
Can
Back
we
shortly.
please mute it?
Yeah. We're building a community.
Hour. Listen up out there. Gwynn and Chris, Chrisello, Tony Gwynn Jr., Matt Scraby. Here's the news that I want to pass along to you out there. The biggest fan contest is returning on January 27th. Got a couple of weeks. The grand prize is a night in the Odyssey Suite with 20 tickets for you and your friends at a future Padres game. That is quite the night, I must say. Register your name at 973thefansd.com/biggest-fan. Got a couple of weeks to do that, right, Scrabe? And then you start listening when we announce names each day. 9 a.m., 1 p.m., 5:30 p.m. every day we'll announce a name. You listen, you hear your name because you entered, and then you get your chance to qualify for the Odyssey Suite grand prize. All right, so that's coming up January 27th. Start getting your entries in now.
Yes.
On the scoreboard as we kick off the 5 o'clock hour, the NBA game, I think kind of the highlight game tonight. Cleveland at Indiana. Pacers up 55-49. 3 minutes left, second quarter. College basketball, top-ranked Auburn flexing its muscle against 15th-ranked Mississippi State. Halftime, Auburn 46. Mississippi State 27. Good start for Auburn there. Of course, tonight the Aztecs are home against Colorado State. 8 p.m. at Viejas Arena. Probably won't start till 8:20. No fault of the Aztecs. But there will no doubt be a game on television before theirs. Those games always go to overtime.
They like
every one of
clockwork.
them. Clockwork, right? And so they'll have to hold up the Aztec game. But anyway, should be a good one out at Viejas. Roki Sasaki is not a Padre or not a Dodger or not anything. Tomorrow is the day the window for him to announce his decision opens. And over the next 8 days, we'll all hold our breath. Matt Snyder, CBS Sports, was on with us earlier. Said Dodgers, Padres, and he didn't really think Blue Jays are a legit possibility. But there are some reports that say they're 3 in the running. So take that for what you will. Hopefully Sasaki picks the Padres. Last night, Minnesota laid the proverbial egg, or Kevin O'Connell got egg on his face, or however you want to term it. Rams dominated the Vikings. We'll have a recap of that at the bottom of this hour.
Have you seen the other video?
Your coach.
No, there's another one?
This one is a little lower level.
Where are you seeing this?
I don't know if you want me to say.
Oh, I know where it is. Okay, I know where it is.
I don't know if you want me to say.
No, it's not that. But I know what you're talking about.
How do you guys know? Are you guys in code work over there? I don't know what you're talking about.
It's on IG.
It's just as well for me not to know.
I'm on Twitter. I'm on the wrong.
It's on IG.
I'm on the wrong headspace. Oh, okay. Now I know.
It is indeed a lower shot. I haven't looked at Roki enough to be able to make out if it's him or not, but it's a much closer video. Scraby, your thoughts?
I am seeing it. Looks like Roki Sasaki to
maybe
me.
Maybe it is. I can't imagine he's out throwing pins. It's just crazy.
God, I hope he was.
I hope he was too.
Here, Chris.
I can't. Okay, but I mean, I see a figure running through your phone there, but I don't know.
All right, I'm gonna repost this on my IG, Instagram, so that people can see it.
I mean, as we said at 2:00 when the show started, as we said yesterday, and as we said last week, this is a big deal, and it's kind of like it's got to go our way. So
I guess I can't repost this video.
Cross all fingers.
Shocker.
Roki, please come to us.
The
Dodgers have enough.
I can't repost the video, so
nobody wants you to go to the Dodgers, Roki. No one. That's true, actually. Nobody wants to see the Dodgers get another guy.
This is how I know our phones listen to us. Were we not just talking about Christian McCaffrey in the break?
Yes.
Now I got like videos of him working out. This is why Christian McCaffrey is so good.
Did you just get an offer to buy a Christian McCaffrey jersey half off?
I did not get that, but that's creepy right there.
It's happening more and more to me.
Yeah,
too.
it is. That's
because we'll talk about something in this room, and it's only said in this room, and then I'll get a bunch of news stories about it like the next couple days.
Yeah, get used to it. It's going to keep up.
Get used to it.
Get used to it. It's been there. It's going to continue. What do you mean? What are you saying? You think it's going to stop tomorrow?
Doesn't he seem like a guy who would hate that?
I'm sure.
It doesn't bother me. It really doesn't bother me because I don't really think about it. And if people want to
really know what you're saying,
really want to know what I'm saying, get a life. Honestly, you really care what song I'm singing to myself in the car? Like, whatever.
I don't want them hearing me sing in the car.
They are.
Hey,
hearing.
did you ever? That's totally off subject, and I know we're supposed to be talking about Roki, but you just made me think of it about singing in the car. You remember the show where they used to put like cameras?
Carpool karaoke?
No, yes.
Oh.
Where they didn't know they were being filmed on there, and they're just like
Is that with
singing songs.
No, I think carpool karaoke.
James
They
Corden?
knew what was happening.
Yeah, this is one where they didn't know.
Oh.
Like friends set them up, and they like had the camera up there.
Oh.
Yeah,
I've never seen
I
that
saw a really funny video that has nothing honestly to do, but it just popped into my head, and I think you should find it.
Okay.
You may have seen it already. I'm pretty sure it was. I think the kid was put up to it by the. Can we say the name of that show, Johnny Knoxville show? We can say that word, right? Jackass.
Yeah.
I think they put the kid up to it. All right. He's a kind of a heavy-set kid, maybe 11 years old. Lovable 11-year-old, 12-year-old kid standing on a street corner selling pitchers of beer. And he is the most foul-mouthed, hilarious kid to all of the people who walk by. You will keel over in laughter if you find this video somewhere. I'm pretty sure they have I think they have the Jackass people like in an earpiece telling him what to say. But I'm telling you, it'll knock your socks off. I recommend.
Chris does like
for
those
some
shows,
laughter.
which is strange, but I appreciate that about you, Chris.
That's
'Cause I
funny,
wouldn't
man. This
expect you
kid's
to like
funny. I
those
can't
shows.
help it. I mean, you're gonna laugh if you've seen it. Anyway,
I mean, I used to watch like the real Jackass, which was CKY, CKY2K.
Those boys was wild.
They were crazy.
Wild.
I mean, they were doing things like renting cars and then getting the $15 insurance and then wrecking the car and bringing it back.
Never understood why they needed to do any of this, but they
who
certainly
were
were having.
CKY?
It was like Bam Margera's crew.
Yeah, so it was like the
Johnny
original
Knoxville
crew.
and Bam Margera.
So they took it another
teamed up.
level.
Yeah,
of
they
craziness.
teamed up together and made that show.
See, I thought Jackass was really creative on a lot of stuff, like when they would pretend to have a body on a hospital gurney and be walking across the street
fall
with
down the
it.
stairs or something.
Yeah, and lose control, and the gurney would
That
go
is
flying
hilarious.
into a fence somewhere.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, that kind of stuff I thought was really creative.
Was it Bam's dad? Who was it?
Bam always used to beat up his dad. Phil, I think his name was. His name Phil.
I could not.
Poor
I
guy.
could not understand that for the life of me.
Bam's not doing too well.
No, he's not.
Show
He's
is
not.
dissipating here.
Yeah,
but Steve-O's doing great.
Good.
Much better.
Yes.
Here's an interesting story, guys, as we get into the 5 o'clock hour. Do you know who Jim Tyrer is? Have you ever heard that name?
Negative.
I doubt you have. He is a Tyrer. He was a offensive lineman for the Kansas City Chiefs back when Hank Stram was the coach, and they won a couple of Super Bowls early in the Super Bowl world. And he was a road grading offensive lineman. His career ended in 1980. 14 years. He was Pro Bowl or All-Pro almost every other year, whatever. Certain to go to the Hall of Fame in Canton. However, 6 months after his retirement, September 1980, and this is a little tough, but in his home, he took a pistol, shot his wife, and then turned the gun on himself.
Oh, man.
They both died. This is 1980. It's now 2024. It's 44 years later, right? Still not in the Hall of Fame. However, now 49 voters in the, the Veteran Committee, et cetera, are going to consider, whether or not Tyrer should be allowed into Canton's Hall. I don't know where you go here. I mean, O.J. Simpson, they didn't take him out or anything like that.
He wasn't convicted.
It's one thing to.
I know. He wasn't convicted.
Well, now forget that part, but he was already in at that point.
That's right.
This has happened, and all that transpired while he was out. And so now, especially in 2025, revisiting that, I can only imagine that's gonna open up some wounds.
He had 4 kids that are all of age now, right? They're in their 50s or 60s. One of the arguments, interesting, I think, was CTE a factor in what Jim Tyrer did? Well, you're giving me a look. I mean, these guys, they were colliding. No, Scraby was. They were colliding just as much as everybody else, probably more.
Scraby is he's
I'm not doubting CTE.
He's foaming, waiting to talk.
No,
about
I'm not
this
doubting CTE, but you've murdered your wife. Things get
right.
taken away from you.
See,
and his family.
Just his wife.
Yeah, just his wife. As if it's just
that's not enough.
Right.
We also had my man from New England find out that he had CTE. It didn't change the fact that
Aaron Hernandez,
he murdered a dude prior to that, right?
Yeah.
Prior to us finding out. Now
Junior Seau had CTE, but did harm to himself, unfortunately.
Yeah. And I feel bad for the CTE and definitely the players from back in the day because there was no safety precautions for them whatsoever, and they were basically hitting head to head. And I do feel bad for them, but I just don't think you could put a guy in the Hall of Fame that murdered his wife.
Well, here's the other argument to it. It's not a I don't know. I can't speak to the NFL, but I would say that it's not a award or thing given out based on
your behavior off the field, is it?
I don't think it is.
Unless you cheated the game.
That's a good argument. It is.
But everybody says in the article, it's a really good article. It's on ESPN.com, and it's not even an ESPN Plus, so you don't have to pay for it. Look it up if you're interested. But everything about Jim Tyrer, and everybody says there's no question. Hall of Fame credentials. Guaranteed. Would have gone in first ballot type of thing. So that's how good he apparently was.
But then when you pass his bust in the hall,
does
it say the story?
It's not going to say the story, but I think those who know about it, it's going to be hard to walk by his plaque and not think about it.
I mean, I've never heard of this guy, so I would have walked by it.
Yeah,
but
that's true. That's true. I never.
It's a weird precedent because then you're like, okay,
it's already set though. The president is already set.
Yeah,
as you said, OJ's in there.
Lawrence Taylor was the name that was discussed as I read through the story. Taylor had all his drug problems, 30-day suspension. I don't think you put that in the same category, but it certainly wasn't great off-field behavior.
No.
And Lawrence Taylor went right into the Hall of Fame.
And as you said, Scraby, OJ was not convicted, so you got an out there at least how you
you can if you
how
want
you
to
can justify it.
Yeah.
Did
this also goes to like the baseball Hall of Fame, right? I mean, it's all of them, right? They have all never been given out.
Ty Cobb was one of the worst human beings on the planet, according to everybody who was around that.
Yep, he's in.
Nobody kept him out.
So I don't know. That's
very interesting.
That's a very interesting. It won't be a conversation unless this veterans crew committee puts him in. Then it's going to open up a conversation.
Well, if you want to read the story, it's really good. It's pretty detailed. It's long, but. If it's interested, you want to hear more, it's on ESPN.com. The guy's name is Jim Tyrer, Tyrer. Check it out if you're interested. All right, Mike Tomlin is still the coach of the Steelers. And today, he had a pretty good comeback for anybody who thinks he shouldn't be. I guess somebody asked him about... teams maybe thinking about a trade for him, where you trade somebody in your organization to get Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin said, quote, save your time. Not going to be happening, according to Tomlin. But it doesn't change the fact that, he should or shouldn't be the Steelers coach. We'll kick it around at a little more length after traffic.
From the 855.
5:21 on the clock. Tony Gwynn Jr., Chris Sello, Matt Snyder. With the shrinking of the NFL playoffs, more questions begin to get asked. In this case, we're talking Pittsburgh Steelers. And we've been teasing this debate for about 2 weeks, but I think we put it on hold. We wanted to wait and see what Pittsburgh did.
This is the right day for it.
This is the right day. They go out bad in the playoffs, losing, their fifth straight? Fifth straight.
Lost their final 4 and then the playoff.
And a lot of people calling for Mike Tomlin's head. Mike Tomlin, as Chris pointed out before we went to break, told teams that are interested,
save your time.
But I think the best of all of the analogies yesterday came from my man Ryan Clark. Here's what he had to say about his former coach.
Well, if they were in a relationship, the Pittsburgh Steelers and Mike Tomlin, they'd be the main topic of every girl's trip. Because it would be the one lady saying, I have this man and he does everything so well and he's so good to me and I love him and we're successful and we're happy, but I don't feel like it's bliss. I feel like there's another step. And all of the homegirls who are married and have some sense would be like, girl, you better not leave him. Mm-hmm. And then the single homegirl who ain't never had a stable relationship, she going to be like, hell no, girl, you can have all. You can have it all. So you can have the world. And because you're going to have to make the decision, is Mike Tomlin overachieving early on in the season, or is he underachieving in the playoffs? Is this team that always seems prepared in big games during the season that has fell behind by at least 14 in the last 5 playoff experiences, trips, not prepared? Are they not ready? Are they not maintaining the message from the meeting room to the football field? And if you feel like that, you have to have the conversation, can we have a higher ceiling? But here is what you're going to have to deal with. We could also end up being the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah.
This team doesn't know what it feels like to only win 5 games, to win 6 games, to be the Las Vegas Raiders this year. And I believe that's a tough decision you have to make when Lombardi trophies are the most important thing in your life.
And so
I don't know if you can even add to that.
So I say, Matthew Scraby.
Yes, sir.
Michael Valenzuela.
Valenzuela,
excuse me.
Venezuela's a country.
Shut up, Scraby.
So it's Hungary.
I misspoke. You guys are the single lady that's never had a stable relationship in your life.
Yeah,
you guys are ready to risk it all. But
to get something better.
Which is fine. But you could become the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I hope you're okay with that risk.
Why are they going to that extreme? Why is Ryan Clark going all the way to the Jaguars?
I think that's
what if they brought in a good coach?
His point is that Mike Tomlin has never been there. He's always good.
Yeah.
Just not
I
great.
Get what his point is that there's something missing, which isn't winning a Super Bowl the ultimate goal of every single team?
Yes.
So getting to the playoffs 5 straight
years
in a row and then losing one and done, that's not getting the job done. You're not getting to where you're supposed to go, what the goal is, which is to win a championship.
I don't disagree, but the question is he coaching that team up as overachievers, or is he somehow underachieving? I think it's the difference this year compared to the last 3 years is that they got off to a great start. And so
they were 10-3 this year.
Right.
They were the other years they've kind of been mediocre the whole year.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right.
And so
this year they were really off to a good start.
In some ways, you start to think that start kind of colored everybody's lenses to the point that, oh, this is a good roster. But the reality is it's the same roster plus or minus Justin Fields, Russell Wilson, that it's they last 2. That was the only difference, really. Matter of fact, you lost one they added a defender in Patrick Queen. After that, the only additions were really Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. Both didn't have great years the year before. So I'm saying he coached that team up well early. They came back down to earth, probably where they should have been, and that's also a first-round exit again.
There is no question they're nowhere near the Ravens, But
No.
could have any coach gotten that roster to the level of the Ravens is one of the questions. The other thing is, real quick, Scrape.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Somebody brought this up. Is it really Mike Tomlin, or is it just the fact that he's had no quarterbacks either?
I mean, he had Ben Roethlisberger
He
for a long
did,
time.
and he won a Super Bowl. And then Roethlisberger got a little old, and he started losing.
Got a lot of old.
The rest of the guys he's had, Mason Rudolph, Russell Wilson, Kenny Pickett,
Trubisky.
He hasn't had a really good quarterback, and most teams don't go anywhere without a quarterback.
All teams don't go anywhere without
I
a
think
quarterback.
Ryan Clark brings up a good point, but it's the Steelers' decision to make. If the GM fires him, he's almost protecting himself to a certain extent, because if he stays with him, then he's admitting that he's not doing the job by getting him enough players.
Here's the other thing, and this is probably the most important thing. It is only Steeler fans that are out there talking like this.
The rest of us from the outside looking in.
The organization itself has not said a peep.
Which is why he told everybody to save your time today.
Exactly.
They want to be.
He's not going
mediocre.
out. This guy is not going out. So the organization, the Pittsburgh Steelers owners want to be mediocre. Is that what you're saying?
They're not going to make a change. They're not going to.
Or
if you can't get to a certain place, you make a change. Coaches have been fired for a lot less. Here is this graphic during Ryan Clark was saying
go ahead.
This is a great graphic. Steelers in the last 4 playoff games. They've led for a total of 4 minutes and 56 seconds in all
they're
those
not
playoff
good
games.
enough to win in the
2024,
playoffs.
halftime deficit, 21 points. Then 14 and 23, 14, 21, 25 and 20.
Their roster is not good enough. Period.
What does that even mean?
What do you mean? It means the same thing it meant for the 49ers this year. They weren't good enough.
Yeah,
they
and they
sucked.
finished 6 and 11
Right.
because of injury.
Okay, fine. You want to blame it on injury? Cool. How about we run down all of the teams that didn't make the playoffs? Guess what that meant? Their roster was not good enough. The teams that got to the first round of the thing and lost.
I can't say this team is not good enough.
What do you mean?
Because their defense every single year, year in and year out, is great. Their offense has always been built around the run. And
Crappy, but it has to be. It has to be because they don't have a good quarterback, right?
That's their fault. Why is Mike Tomlin drafting crappy quarterbacks?
He's not the GM of the team.
But they go hand in hand.
No, they don't. It's the
GM does take Mike Tomlin's opinion into account when they're drafting a quarterback.
I'm sure he does.
So
but ultimately, him putting the roster together does not fall on him. He is not like Bill Belichick, where he has full reign of the whole kit and caboodle.
Here's what Katrina, our resident Steelers fan in the chat, told me.
I guarantee she
to
wants him gone.
She does, of course. Well, she loves him, I guess. I think
Steeler fans.
Steeler fan.
Right, again.
She said if the Padres were
be careful
500 for 15 years and made the first round of the playoffs and got bounced like 9 of those 15 years, don't you think the Padres would make a change? Yes. The answer is yes.
I don't know that I agree with that.
You think the Padres are fine with being 500 for 15?
I'll just tell you and the young lady to go through the Padres history, and she can try to tell me.
Just give it to any team. I'm just.
Well,
she
you
was
brought
just saying
the Padres
okay.
up, so I'm just saying it's not
any
a good choice.
team. I think that manager is fired at some point along the way. I mean, managers have been fired for less. Gerard Mayo got fired for no reason.
Like I said, I hope they do fire. So
I know a lot of teams that hope they fire him.
You don't sound like you hope they do.
Well, I think it's stupid if you fire him, but I hope they do.
So I'm not a Steeler fan. Do what you want.
Certainly not a Steeler fan.
Can I say this,
I
though?
hope the Ravens continue to pound the Steelers.
I like Mike Tomlin and his motivation and the way he does things.
I'm not looking
but I
at
think
you
that he needs.
I'm not looking at you in this
scenery,
situation like I look at you whenever you talk about Deion. I know you don't hate Mike Tomlin.
I don't.
I think you just want to see him gone because they haven't won in 4 straight. They've been bounced in 4 straight first rounds. Fair enough.
I'm like the guy who walks down the street, sees a bunch of people with pitchforks, and I just get one and go into the pitchfork
I'll tell
line.
you, Steeler fans, be careful what you wish for. I hope that you don't get stuck.
They could elevate Arthur Smith
with the next
Steeler fans.
Who's the next
Ben Johnson? You think he would be?
No, I'm not. I hope the Steelers don't get the next Ben Johnson. Assuming he's going to be good. Hope they get what my man just left.
How about we just
hope they get the next Eberflus over there.
Or we send to Mike McDaniel. You can have him for a few
Mike
years.
Matt
Try
Nagy.
him out.
All of them. Hope they get him.
Dominic says it's what the Chargers did to Marty. They did it after he went 14-2 and then got bounced. So
And how did that work out for the Chargers?
Didn't work.
Hasn't changed. It hasn't really worked out since.
I don't think they.
Mike
Thankfully,
Tomlin
they
did
got
go 14-2.
Harbaugh here that seemingly might have changed it, but
maybe
it had run its course many a times over. So all I'm saying, be careful what you wish for.
I have one thing to say to Mike Tomlin if he's out there listening. Mike, I'm sure you would be listening to San Diego radio
Matt
today.
Eberflus. Hope they get him. That's your number one candidate.
Mike, call the people at Pro Football Reference and please have them change your thumbnail photo.
It is pretty wild.
Have you seen it, Tony?
Let me come over here.
He looks like the all-time deer in the headlights.
He does. It's a really interesting photo.
That's got to be on purpose, too, by
There's
the way.
just something crazy with that photo. If you want to see Mike Tomlin's crazy photo.
Michael's texting me, the standard is he's yelling at me. He's got 3 exclamation marks on here. The standard is the standard.
It's really easy for people like you guys to say he should stay when you're not actually affected by a win or a loss by the Steelers.
No, I hope they get affected in a real way.
Michael,
with a
I
terrible
stand with you.
Coach.
I stand with you.
I stand with you too, Mike.
Katrina.
Fire Mike Tomlin, please. Let one of these other teams have
Katrina
him.
says Tomlin also has a coaching tree that's a straight branch. He needs to surround himself with better
Bill
staff.
Belichick's coaching tree is so fantastic.
It's bad.
So he's just got a lot of people who've gotten opportunities and have only sucked
They
after.
all get opportunities.
So
Josh
don't get me
McDaniels.
started on Mike Tomlin's branches, as it was called, because that's funny. My boss also brought the tree up too. You don't want to really go to that tree. There's a lot of dudes who ain't getting opportunities. We can go down that road if you want. But we want to talk about branches with fake leaves on it. Bill Belichick's. There you go. You can have that kind of tree.
Tony is very fired up and passionate about this. I like it. I'm
not even a Steelers
I think it's
fan
pretty
either.
funny somebody brought up the Chargers firing Marty Schottenheimer because that's the dumbest thing they ever did.
Literally.
There's no question.
Matt says, don't hate on Russell either. Hey, Russell didn't get him to the promised land. No, he wasn't saying
I
he
love
lost
Russ.
it.
You guys know let's ride all day, baby.
Let's ride.
All right, let's get to break.
I don't think we solved anything there.
We didn't. We just because you know why you didn't solve anything? Because neither the Steelers aren't a team of any of ours.
No, they're not going to. They're not going to.
And they're not going to fire him.
it's not
So
gonna
I
happen.
mean, at this point, they're not. They might trade him. Maybe. No, don't think so.
Save your time,
Maybe.
Tony.
All right, let's get to break on the other side. Gwynn and Chris, we finished this show up.
Ben and Woods on the Fan.
Coming up Wednesday, the Roki Sasaki window.
97.3 The Fan. Savvy viewers on YouTube watching the stream will notice that I changed outfits there during the break. That means I'm reffing basketball tonight. Tony, don't say. So, am I coming to a gym?
We now go to our resident referee, Chris Sellos.
Thank you. What I wanted to say is I am coming to a basketball gym tonight, but is it the one near you? You'll have to go see your local game tonight to find out. Maybe I'll run into you at one of the gyms tonight. All right. Do we have traffic? We do. And then good, bad, ugly from last night's Minnesota Ram playoff game.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Just a couple things to mention here. Two-car collision on SEP on 805 at Murray Ridge. They're over to the right shoulder. Westbound King Freeway near the 5. An encampment fire reported over to the right shoulder. Also westbound side of the 52 before Mass Boulevard, getting a stalled SUV out of middle lanes. I'm Kelly Danick with Gwynn and Chris, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, here we go. The final first-round wild card playoff game last night in Phoenix, Arizona. The good, I went with Matthew Stafford here, guys. I was really impressed. Not only was he good, but he was everything that I think a lot of people thought he still wasn't. You know what I mean? Like capable of just controlling a game. Every time Flores threw something at him, he dumped the ball off, or he got rid of it, or he hit his receiver. 19 for 27, 207 is not like a great game, but I thought he had a great game.
Oh, yeah. I don't know why he gets so much hate. I think he's been one of the best quarterbacks of the last 15
because some
years.
poor girl fell off a cliff at the Rams celebration,
it was
and
stage.
And he walked away like it didn't matter.
Chris,
he was
inebriated. He was in trouble.
I didn't see
you know what happens? He goes and tries to pick her up. She falls, and then she's suing Matt Stafford.
That's it.
I actually just
Is there a highlight of him?
He was. He was sharp last night.
Yes, here it is.
Oh, go ahead.
Get the ball out in the screen. Under 20 to go. Wide open. Allen touchdown.
Well, that was a bad
Stafford,
call.
yeah, good job, Scrape.
Remember, I mean, it's. I think we have to remember the Rams traded Jared Goff for Matt Stafford and hit pay dirt the very next year.
They won it.
So he's been in this spot, which I think makes the Rams dangerous now that they're healthy.
We're 1 week away from a Goff-Stafford NFC Championship game.
That would
Could
be
happen.
crazy.
Could happen. All right, what was the bad? Well, it's so obvious I had to go with it. Sam Darnold. Basically, the guy went
Wide-eyed Darnold.
Yeah, he went from the Pro Bowl to the toilet bowl in a span of 2 games.
Oh, man.
He was. I mean, he was the guy made the Pro Bowl this year. But you could have never known it watching him. And as the saying goes, he who hesitates is lost. And he hesitated all night last night. And by the time he figured it out, he was sacked 9 times, including this time.
Darnold balls out. Picked up by Verse. Off to the races.
That guy
And
was moving, too.
gone for the touchdown.
I have a stat, actually. Jared Verse reached a top speed of 19.88 miles an hour, the fastest speed reached by a 260-plus pound ball carrier over the last 7 seasons.
Just remember, I think it was King Henry reached 20 miles per hour in that game before, and that was like the 5th fastest. That defensive end picked that bad boy up and was gone.
He was pulling away.
Do you get a
the poor
sack?
offensive lineman? I love when they take after a guy and it's like,
And they're always
the
like
instant
Frankenstein.
separation.
not happening.
Do you get credited with a sack if they fumble the ball, or you just get like a forced
You
fumble?
get the sack and the fumble, I believe.
Not sure. Did you guys see the sack where the one guy made the tackle and the other guy came flying off the top rope like Jimmy Superfly Snuka?
Yes, I did.
And landed on top of Darnold?
I did see that.
You wait till you find that clip. It was pretty funny. And some people thought it should have been a penalty. But the one thing we will say, the Vikings got outplayed in every single way. But what did you guys think of the non-fumble call early in the game? Stafford kind of just barely flipped the ball, and if it would have been a fumble, it would have been a 10-10 score.
It took me back to the old, was it tuck rule? A
little bit, yeah.
It took me. I think Sraby said during the break, intent, or one of you guys said the intent has to matter, right? Like, I thought that was completely just to avoid the sack.
Totally.
And, you know, I don't know that it should have been a fumble, but there should have been something there.
Right. It just became 2nd and 10.
Right.
It was like no penalty at all for that. Anyway.
Yeah, it was not a... I thought it was a fumble. Everybody on TV was like, nope, that's a incomplete pass. No problem here.
Yeah, that's what they went with.
Moving along.
No looky here.
All right, if Sam Darnold was bad, then what was ugly? The Vikings' offensive line was ugly.
Swiss cheese.
So bad. I mentioned, I put these names down, guys, just for my old fans out there. Deacon Jones, Merlin Olsen, Rosie Greer, Lamar Lundy. They were the Rams' fearsome foursome of the 60s and 70s. And that's what the Ram defensive line looked like last night, running through those Viking guys. My goodness. 9 sacks and just forced fumbles and picks. The Rams play like that, I think they could beat the Eagles.
Me too.
Yeah, I mean, Jalen Hurts can be running around, and we'll ask you that here in the next segment. Thank you, Scrabe. Good, bad, ugly. We're done with the wild card round. Divisional round coming up this weekend. All right, we have time for a few of these. I put together, actually ESPN put this together. I'm just reading it and cheating.
But you did pay for it, so it's okay.
I pay money for these stories. I thought there were some good questions based on the wild card round, and so I'll throw them out to you. And the first one comes right off of the game last night. Was that Sam Darnold's last appearance as a Viking quarterback? Remember, they have J.J. McCarthy. They also traded for Daniel Jones, and he's a one-year rental, basically, Sam Darnold. Kevin O'Connell, I give him a lot of credit because he showed class after the game.
Yeah.
They asked him about Darnold's performance. He could have gone all Mick Cronin on him if he wanted to.
Delusional.
Right.
He's a nice guy, but he's delusional.
Yeah, but he didn't. Kevin O'Connell said, you know what, you got to take into effect his whole body of work. And that had to be hard to say after a game like that. So, Kevin, I give you credit there. But what do you think?
He's a former quarterback, so.
Yeah. What do you think with Darnold? Is he coming back? I don't see how. I mean, he had a really good season, but you got J.J. McCarthy.
What I do trust is Kevin O'Connell, and here's why. He was the one that wanted Sam Darnold in that organization. So clearly he saw something that he thought he could work with. And so the question now becomes is what he has seen, and he probably hasn't been able to see much of J.J. McCarthy because he's been hurt. And so I'm sure that certainly adds to the...
I think they have to trust Kevin O'Connell's eye.
They're going to have to, because at this point I think he's earned that in terms of what he's been able to do with the last few quarterbacks that he's had. I think ultimately, I think Darnold goes. I think he goes because he's going to get offered enough money elsewhere.
That's what I think too. There's going to be a team that's going to jump and give him like
I
a
won't be
$3 or $50 million
Really?
deal.
You think after those 2 games?
I don't know if the money's going to be that high. I think he's might have cost him some money the last 2 games against the Lions and
last
night. But I still think somebody's going to pay him. I think the Vikings, if they can get him for cheap, I don't think they mind bringing him back.
Bring him back for $10 million like he played this year? He's going to get paid more than $10 million.
They were 14-2 and then looked like that.
I like what Troy Aikman said last night. He's like, I hate to say that a 14-win season means nothing.
It does.
But seems like
nothing.
It does when you go out in the first round like that.
Yeah.
Seems like it. All right, here's another question, overreaction type question. Here's the statement. Justin Herbert is a quarterback who falls apart in the playoffs. Is that too much after the game he had? 14 of 32.
That's too
47-point QBR performance, one of the worst of his career.
I saw two playoff starts.
He's got 2 playoff starts. One
and
in
the first one
he walked down Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars. They were down 19?
No, they were up 23-0, and it went the other way. Went the other way. Sorry.
Maybe he's not performing well then.
Yeah, he did not win that one either.
He needs a couple more games for me to know.
Although did he play? He played better.
Played okay in that game, but the second half he couldn't lead them to a single point against Jacksonville, and that's when the game got away.
That's why this question was. I saw this morning. I was like, wait a minute, he got a good performance his first time.
Yeah, he was for a first half. They had a 27-0 lead in that game before they lost. He was awful the other day, but I agree. It's a little early. But I will reiterate
Listen,
what I always say is that Justin Herbert is not yet one of the greatest quarterbacks. You can't tell me that until he wins one.
He's not. But listen, this isn't the first quarterback that struggled in their first couple appearances in the playoffs. And
True that.
give him a chance. What I can tell you, he's good enough to get you there. Now help him get better in the postseason.
All right. Scraby, anything more on that?
No.
All right. Here's one more, or another one. Question. Is Jalen Hurts 100% healthy?
I don't think
Got to
so.
face the Rams in that pass rush, although the Eagles' offensive line is far superior, I'm sure, to the Vikings.
Yeah. They bully the line most of the time.
Yeah. I didn't think Jalen Hurts was physically anything close to what he normally is, but he sure showed me a lot of guts, man. He ran the ball anyway.
Yeah. No,
he still did it.
One of the early runs, his back of his head hit that ground,
Yeah.
and he got up a little slower, but he got up. I think him getting through that game, and I think now this next week you'll get close to a version of him that we seen during the season before the concussion. Because he didn't look quite right yesterday.
I'm with you guys. I think that he'll be fine, though. The Eagles are going to be fine because they signed Saquon Barkley.
I think, but I think they need Hurts to play well because the Rams are looking like they're rolling. All right, Scraby, this one's for you.
Okay.
Are the hurting Detroit Lions defense injury-wise, are they in trouble coming up against Jaden Daniels next week?
I called it yesterday.
Yes, he did. That's
Commanders
why I threw
are going
this
to
to
beat
you.
the Lions. I am on the Jaden Daniels train.
But we know why he's
so
saying this,
good.
right, Tony? Because he hates the Lions.
Yeah.
I've been saying all year long.
No, you
the
haven't.
Yes, I've been
You
saying
have.
all year long
Oh,
that the Lions are
yes.
one and done.
Yes, you have.
They're going
I
to
thought
be
you were
one
about
and
to say
done.
something about the Commanders because you hadn't mentioned
No,
one
I said
word.
all year that the Commanders are the best team in the NFL.
No, you
all
haven't.
year.
No, you haven't. You're lying. You're a liar. I don't like liars, and you're lying right now.
If you're calling me a liar, then Deion's definitely a
You're
liar.
a liar right now.
I think Jaden Daniels is good enough. I think that he has the it factor, and I think that team is playing emotional football, which is a good thing.
That's true. Lions are still hurting. I mean, they got a lot of injuries. Aiden Hutchinson still hasn't come back. But I was surprised he beat the Buccaneers. I'll be beyond stunned if he beats the Lions. Tony, anything?
Yeah, that's not happening.
All right, how much time? We got 2 minutes. Give
me the Goff Stafford rematch.
Well, you might get it.
I'll take the Rams in the Super Bowl again as long as the Lions aren't out there.
Okay.
But can I ask you a question? The Rams aren't they in your division?
Yeah, that's why I got to
He
cheer
hates
for them.
too.
I have to cheer for them because then the champion came from my division.
As you go, don't you?
Champion came from my division.
No, well, you're gonna walk around with a T-shirt that says that. I'll get you one.
The champion came from my division.
The champ came from my division.
We got to make one for you if the Rams win it.
Yes,
we're gonna
champ
give you
came
one of
from my
those to wear
division.
around. Is this the best version of Josh Allen we've ever seen right now, Tony?
Yes,
I think so.
Me too.
Scraby was not impressed with that touchdown pass the other day. The one he threw to the guy in the back of the end zone.
I was more impressed with the catch.
So was I, but it's a play that I don't think too many quarterbacks could
make. If you give Josh Allen 85 seconds to throw the football, he's good enough where he's going to find an open
he is
space.
Amazing, though.
Yeah. I think
the thing that I get you do. Well, we'll see. Yeah, because he's got to go against Lamar, which leads him into my final question. With what we've seen in the wild card round, should we just hand the Lombardi Trophy now to the Ravens?
No.
I'll let Scraby go first.
No. Because they haven't proven it to me yet that Lamar can win the big game. He can win games in the playoffs. He needs to win. He needs to get to the Super Bowl.
He's elevated himself from can't win in the playoffs, so he can win some games in the playoffs, but can he win the game?
Yeah.
Well, I guess Super Bowl is the game.
He's got two more the games
to
go.
Get past the Chiefs.
Right.
He's got to get past.
He's got to get Buffalo and probably the Chiefs just to get to the Super Bowl.
Listen,
tough.
if he gets there, it'll be one of the best. It'll be his greatest achievement to this point.
The one thing somebody pointed out: Lamar has now won 3 playoff games. The previous 2 wins, he followed up with just a stinker.
Yeah.
So he's got. Can he back it up? It's
Here's
in
the thing.
Buffalo. It's going to be a hell of a win if they can get it.
He didn't really have to do much in that first game. It was pretty much King Henry. This next game, it's going to have to be a combination of both for them to go up into that cold ass place and win.
We're going to have our picks on Thursday this week. So Make sure you're tuned in.
Thursday.
NFL picks. All right, tomorrow it is the middle of the week, and AJ Cassavell will be with us, hopefully to celebrate Roki Sasaki's decision to be a Padre, but it's probably unlikely that he'll actually announce tomorrow. But wouldn't it be cool, Scravy? About 2:10, he makes the announcement right during our show.
Absolutely.
In fact, how about he just comes on our show and makes the announcement?
Well, that would be nice.
We're inviting the Padres to use us.
Yes.
Tomorrow. Use us.
We have a megaphone.
Right. Use us. Bring the Roki on to make the announcement. All right, Tony. Thank you. Good seeing you again, Scraby. You got your Chronicles.
I know. I'm trying to figure out what the heck I'm going to talk about.
And I'll see you all tonight at a basketball gym near you. Maybe. That's
all
it.
right.
Peace out.
Bye.